space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than a fantasy. I can run, I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything.
Believe in yourself and do anything.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can walk, I can talk, I can listen and learn as the wheels in my mind begin to turn. But I'll never forget what you've given to me. The power to touch, feel it, hear and see.
The power to touch, feel, hear, and see.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than a fantasy. I can run, I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything.
Believe in yourself and do anything.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can walk, I can talk, I can listen and learn as the wheels in my mind begin to turn. But I'll never forget what you've given to me. The power to touch, feel it, hear and see.
The power to touch, feel, hear, and see.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than a fantasy. I can run, I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything.
Believe in yourself and do anything.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can walk, I can talk, I can listen and learn as the wheels in my mind begin to turn. But I'll never forget what you've given to me. The power to touch, feel it, hear and see.
The power to touch, feel, hear, and see.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than a fantasy. I can run, I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything.
Believe in yourself and do anything.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the top. I can walk, I can talk, I can listen and learn as the wheels in my mind begin to turn. But I'll never forget space, from someplace even higher, from the stars. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than a fantasy. I can run, I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything.
Believe yourself, do anything.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the stars. I can walk, I can talk, I can listen and learn as the wheels in my mind begin to turn. But I'll never forget what you've given to me. The power to touch, feel, hear and see.
The power to touch, feel, hear, and see.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the stars. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than a fantasy. I can run, I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything.
Believe yourself, do anything.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the stars. I can walk, I can talk, I can listen and learn as the wheels in my mind begin to turn. But I'll never forget what you've given to me. The power to touch, feel, hear and see.
The power to touch, feel, hear, and see.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the stars. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than a fantasy. I can run, I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything.
Believe yourself, do anything.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the stars. I can walk, I can talk, I can listen and learn as the wheels in my mind begin to turn. But I'll never forget what you've given to me. The power to touch, feel, hear and see.
The power to touch, feel, hear, and see.
From within your mind, no one else can find the life that you inspire. From another place, not from outer space, from someplace even higher, from the stars. I can touch, I can feel, I can hear and see so much more than a fantasy. I can run, I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything.
Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome to another Tinfoil Tuesday. I'm excited to have you here. We have a bunch of interesting content for you guys. Make sure you get your bingo cards ready if you want to play Tinfoil Tuesday Bingo. I'll put on the tinfoil stuff if we do a hype train and get to level 5. If we get to level 10, we do a maid outfit, as per usual. Other than that, I guess let's just see what I missed. Jody Girl, thanks for 26 months. Ashley One Up says a cup of tea, a cozy blanket, and a Tinfoil Tuesday. This is going to be a lovely evening. Cosmic Cats with 27 months says, "Hey Hannah, hope the week is going well. Time for tinfoil." Indeed it is. Indeed it is. That's a sub-baby. This sub-baby's name is going to be Clark Gibson. Clark Gibson. Red Werewolf, thanks for 21 months with Prime. If you see any red on my face today that's abnormal, I had another allergic reaction yesterday. So it wasn't just the new stuff, apparently. Any of this kind of thing I put on my face, I'll get an allergic reaction. That's a shame. But, you know, it is what it is. Boston, thanks for 27 months, says, "Hey Hannah, I don't always catch live and rarely cheer, so I'm sorry to say, I've had 3 sub-babies in secret." Alright, they're gonna be, triplets. They're gonna be named Harry, Gary, and Larry Barry. Barry is all of their last names. Bumble Homestead with 200 bits, thank you. Siberian Winter with 20 months, thank you. First name bunch of numbers, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs, getting us over level 1 of the hype train, getting us closer to the tinfoil outfit. But yeah, it's not good. It's my pain stuff for electrolysis too, so now I have to find alternative pain stuff that doesn't have this ingredient in the hopes that, you know, I'm itchy. I'm itchy, chat. Someone ripped my face off. 64% to level 3. I have calamine lotion. It's fine. We're fine. Chat, we're gonna apply lotion to my rash. Is this content? Psychotropic Thunder, thanks for 24 months. Says 2 whole years, wow. I'm almost done with electrolysis? I don't know about that. You'd think based on what you see. But when you can see me in person, there's still hair. I shave I'm shaved unless it's time for electrolysis, so you can't, like, see it. Especially under makeup, but... Do I have aloe? I do also have aloe. Yes. It'll be fine. I'll be completely fine probably by tomorrow. And it's not as severe a reaction as the last time because the stuff isn't as strong. It has a lower concentration, I think, of the active ingredient. I don't know why I'm not telling you what it is. For some reason, my brain just goes, someone will poison you, you fool. Don't tell people something you're allergic to. Which, I'm gonna stick with, so. Just smoke weed like the rest of us. You know, that doesn't make me not feel pain when I'm shocked in the face, so. Chromatic Cuttlefish says, oral or topical antihistamines are specific for allergic reaction, by the way. I'll look for something, but I'm afraid of making my allergic reactions worse. Like, if I keep putting the stuff on and just suppress the reaction, I'm afraid if I get in contact with it without the suppressant, I'm gonna have a really bad reaction and fucking die. Hopefully an indictment comes down soon. I'm not holding my breath. Mr. Whiskers, thanks for 60 bits. Congrats on having a base legislature in my state. They are pretty great. I'll say that. When I was younger, I used to always want to move out of Michigan. Now, as long as I'm staying in the country, I'd like to stay in Michigan. We're doing all right so far. 0% to level 4 on the hype train, now 21%, as Hawthorne subscribes for 17 months. Says, some little shit broke into my car and drove and took 2 cash tins and charity money we had raised. There wasn't a lot of money, but I still feel violated. The police said there's no CCTV, so they aren't going to do anything. Oh, the cops, clearly showing why we have them. Oh, you got robbed? I don't know. That sucks. No, that really does suck, though. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry they didn't do anything. I can jump, I can dance and sing. Believe in yourself and do anything. Believe in yourself and do anything. From another place, not from outer space, but from some place even higher. Remlazar. I love Remlazar. We should do another if we do a 420 stream this year, maybe we'll do a Remlazar. We'll watch Remlazar on 420 maybe. So what happened to Trump? Nothing so far as I know, unless something just happened. I wonder how Chili is doing. Has he posted anything weirder? Like he was in the middle of a breakdown last time I saw, but
That I've been trespassing. Otherwise, it's not
Ooh, he's in front of an AMC movie theater.
true, and you're lying. And you're a liar and a
You want to
fraud.
hear from them?
Yeah, we'd like to hear from the actual representative from Chase, not security. No, that's Allied Security.
Is this an old video? I feel like I've seen this before. Like, I've seen him in this exact location. Chromatic Cuttlefish with 100 bits says, it would make a pretty legendary tinfoil stream if he was indicted and we got to see the cultists lose what's left of their minds live. That'd be nice. Again, even if he gets indicted with something, I have very low hopes for it being anything substantial. My faith in justice has died, chat. It's been dead for years. I don't believe there's much of a correlation between rich people doing illegal shit and rich people facing consequences. So, I kind of just assume nothing's gonna happen. But I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Officer. That's
26% to level 4 on the hype train.
I'm not
Trespass
trespassing.
one from the building.
No, I'm not.
If you go back to
No,
the
I'm not.
building,
No, I'm
I'll
not,
go
though.
back anytime I want, Joe loser. You're a total loser, dude. You don't
Yeah, I think we've seen that. Anyway, well, the hype train is doing its thing. Let's get into some stuff. Chris? Minute left on the hype train. Don't let it die, chat. It's Tinfoil Tuesday. If I go forward without the protection of my tinfoil jacket, I'll be hit with the psycho waves.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 3/19/23.
Bumble Homestead,
You know-
thanks for 100 bits.
What's that? Clear blue skies, you know, just with these white puffy clouds. That's what your sky should look like.
In certain conditions, yes, but there are different kinds of clouds, Chris, so
It's almost
30 seconds.
like a painting. Doesn't it look good? Yeah. Well, let's talk about paintings. Let's talk about every...
Steve with a Q with 250 bits says it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Thank you. Starling CJ, thanks for 20 months, says love you, Hannah. Oh, thank you. 63% to level 4.
of Earth that have been painted, stitched together. They can't get out far enough in order to take a real picture of Earth.
Yes, they literally have, Chris. Have you ever seen Earthrise? There are absolutely photographs of the Earth far enough away that you can get the whole thing. But you call those fake. Literally, Old Man Yelling at Cloud, CC, you've turned into a meme, and we've officially reached Old Man Yelling at Cloud with CC. That's my favorite part of the stream. Okay, so we got to level 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. Need 2 more things for tinfoil.
Apparently. These are what your scientists tell you. Astronauts. Military. You know, so they can't get an actual photo of Earth. But yet we can...
Chris, there are photos of Earth. Like I said, Earthrise. Look. It's a photo of the flippin' Earth from the moon, Chili. The problem is you don't believe that photo is real, so what do you want me to do?
compose many pictures of other celestial objects out there.
Chris, did you know that it's easier to take a picture of something over there than it is to take a picture this close to something? Because in order to take a full picture of Earth, you have to be far enough away that your lens can capture the entirety in one frame. You have to be pretty far away from the Earth to do that, because compared to most cameras, the Earth is pretty flippin' huge.
One of the greatest.
Nonetheless, we do have photos and videos of the Earth, at least half of the Earth. You can't see a whole 360, but you can see a shot of the whole half of the Earth that you're facing on several missions to the moon. We took video of that.
Detail you could possibly imagine. But you don't have one single picture of where you live.
There literally are. Chris, you've been shown them.
People think about this. Let's talk. Oh, well, one thing I do want to tell you about is this. Okay, this is toast from a deli. I could have done a better job with my ironing board and an iron than this shit. There was a little family emergency. I had to attend to it.
You ever been such a shit that you complain about the toast you got at a deli? It's toast, Chris. It's literally just reheated up bread. I don't even know what to respond to if you complain about toast. Toast your own toast, Chili.
And, everything's fine now. That's the only reason why I'm eating out. Regularly, I'll be cooking for myself. Especially last night's fried chicken was just fantastic. Oh, and by the way, I couldn't find... here, I don't know if this lighting is very good.
Did Voyager take a pic? I think it did. Voyager did pale blue dot, right? Gnome Pickles says, Chris hides the pictures he's been shown of the Earth in the same place he has moved the goalposts to.
I couldn't find any buttermilk anywhere. We have, here in Westchester County, we have a
Code red, everyone. There's a severe lack of buttermilk in the upstate New York area, okay?
milk
You're gonna have to add butter to your own milk.
shortage. I had to go to 3 different supermarkets in order to find it.
The thing about buttermilk is it's so mysterious, the ingredients to it no one knows. So how can you make your own?
That's like driving, I don't know, 10 or 15 miles in order to find a little container of buttermilk, which I never buy.
You
I never look
motherfucker, you expect me to mix butter into my own milk? What is this, the Dark Ages?
for, but Westchester County has a shortage of buttermilk. Makes no sense at all to me. Just like the toilet paper. Remember that? That's to wipe your ass.
Yes, Chris, that is what you do with toilet paper. Good job.
And that's when signified bullshit to you 3 years ago. Fuck. People just don't get it here. They just don't. They're all asleep. They're all gone. Oh, okay. All right.
Buttermilk is the milk from butter, not butter and milk. This is gonna be one of those embarrassing things no one lets me live down, isn't it?
So this is quoting NDT. Yes, that's your God. That's right, for the sleepers.
NDT is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
For the people that are asleep, they listen to this guy, and they actually believe what he says. So NDT is doing his podcast, and apparently he has some interesting information that I think you should...
Jeff Waldorf, thank you for rating. Welcome, Raiders. I'm Hannah. You've come on Tinfoil Tuesday, the day where we look at all sorts of conspiracy theorists, laugh at them, talk about the conspiracies, and why they're not true, most likely. And we play Conspiracy Bingo. So go check out Jeff Waldorf.
should really realize for your knowledge. And he explains exactly the weight of a human, but hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's first go back to what he said about spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. Okay, all right, that's right. Okay, so the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. Good. Now,
Hannah was obviously suggesting Cece make butter and this buttermilk from regular milk. Yeah, whatever I said is always interpreted in a way that makes me look less dumb. That's the new rule for the chat. Anything stupid I say, you have to pretend I didn't say it. Nah, I'm just kidding. I make mistakes. It happens.
we're revolving around the sun at 18 miles per second. Correct.
Okay.
This is quoting NDT. Okay. And you don't feel any movement at all, right?
Correct, Chris. You don't feel movement. You feel change in velocity. So, like, if the speed changed very suddenly, then you would notice. But you don't notice because it's a consistent speed at which we're rotating and going around the sun. So you don't notice any movement because you're all part of the same inertial reference frame.
I mean, you know. Do you feel any movement at all? You're revolving around the sun at 18 miles per second. Per second!
Yes.
Do you feel any movement?
No, because I'm on the object moving, and it's in a consistent pattern. Like, Chris, when you're in a car, or let's say you're on a train, a very stable train, like a maglev train, and it was going 200 miles per hour, you wouldn't feel motion on it if it was going at consistent speed. What you feel is acceleration or deceleration. Okay? That's why in a car, you can be sleeping and, like, hopefully you're not the driver. Let's say you're in the passenger seat or in the back, and you can be sleeping despite the fact that you're going maybe 60 to 80 miles an hour if you're on the highway, or on an airplane when you're going like 200 miles per hour. I don't know how fast planes go. How fast do planes go? However fast planes go, if you're going at consistent speed, you can sleep. Now, everyone I think has had the sensation, though, also, of being on a plane and maybe sleeping and then you kind of go down or something. That's a change in velocity, right? That'll wake you up because you feel it. But when you're going at consistent speed and direction, you don't feel that at all.
Is my question.
500-ish, depending on the size and route. Woo, planes are cool.
No. Apparently to NDT, in Ecuador, he loves to do that, we will weigh less. So that's great. So the entire population of America who have become these fat slobs should just move to Ecuador. You'll be 6 or 7 pounds lighter. See, now that's...
Okay, I don't know if the difference between your weight somewhere like in America and Ecuador is that much difference, but either way, what's changing there is weight. Weight is an apparent measurement. So, like, someone's weight is dependent upon where they are. Like, what are they being attracted to that's causing the gravity? In this case, it's the Earth, right? But someone's mass is the same. And when we're talking about, like, people who are quote-unquote, overweight or whatever, they're not talking about their weight in the scientific sense. They're talking about their mass, basically. Probably their body fat percentage is more what's being said. But colloquially, we call that weight because we all are on Earth. Or at least the vast majority of us. So, it's deceptive in the way it's worded, but it's true nonetheless when you know the context of the way these words are being said. So if you or I went to the equator, yes, we would weigh less on a scale, but our mass is more or less the same. I assume your mass fluctuates slightly from day to day, but, like, in terms of your mass as an average, exactly the same. The only thing that's changed is the amount of gravitational pull acting upon your mass.
It's a scientist. Of course, he doesn't have any background at all in that.
Wait, you think Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't have a background in physics? Because that's a physics thing. So he does have a background in physics. I'm pretty sure he has a doctorate in some sort of physics thing or astronomy. He definitely can talk about that.
That term of...
And you don't need to like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's kind of a pretentious a-hole and he seems a little full of himself, but, like, whatever. He's not wrong about this particular thing.
profession, but people look up to him. He's the CEO of the Hayden Planetarium.
Maps and Mimic says, "Hey CC, the Earth revolves at a rate once every 24 hours. Please stand in a place and pivot once in 24 hours, and let me know if you feel the centripetal acceleration. Being this angry about everything literally all the time has to be exhausting. Oh, this guy's gonna have an aneurysm. Or a stroke or something. He must be stressed constantly.
That's right. You want to go see him?
His doctorate is in astrophysics, so this is incredibly in his ballpark. Okay.
Go down to the Hayden Planetarium. Maybe I'll stop by there one time and try to get there early in the morning while he pulls up in his chaperone of people, I'm sure, that are surrounding him, because he won't answer any questions. He won't.
Chris, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a science communicator for a living. Answering questions is the main thing he does for a living in his public career. Mr. Whiskers says, while CC here is less credible than an astrologist. I like that he makes up scenarios he imagines and gets mad about them. Like he thinks Neil deGrasse Tyson gets out of his car at the Hayden Planetarium and just has like a posse of people. Probably not. Like, I get he's famous. I don't know if he's that famous. I don't know how... I think he spends much of his time, like, traveling and doing speaking engagements and stuff. But when he is working there, he probably just goes and parks and goes inside. I don't know. I don't know what his responsibilities are. I don't think he probably has an entourage.
Debate anybody at all. This is your scientist. This is...
Debate about what, Chris? You think you want him to debate you about the shape of the Earth? Chris, no. You don't know how anything works.
The people. These are the people that the trained rats, the NPCs, listen to. It's great. It's great. Wake the fuck up, people. You've been lied to all of your life. And if you can't wake up and realize it, then go back to fucking sleep and get the fuck off my channel. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.
Oh, Chris is doing great, clearly. So that's awesome. Cat the Satanist, thanks for 15 months. Let's take a look at the bingo card real quick. We have filming in car, or recording in car, of course. We have Flat Earth. Where is Flat Earth? Is it on page 2? You'd think I'd know at this point. Flat Earth. There it is. Okay, was there anything else? I think that was it. Weather control for clouds. Fair enough. He is talking... Okay, yeah, HARP weather control. I don't think fake sun. He thinks it's a local sun. He doesn't necessarily think it's fake. I don't know. Hey y'all, let's see what Gina's up to.
Now look at this. Here's some of the beings, but I'm gonna show the video where I was recording the screen and zooming up close. Okay, this is one. Then look at this. This right here. This is that little bluish green dot that we get. Look at it. Look at the pattern.
You all, that is gonna be doesn't understand how cameras work on the bingo card, you all.
She caught it. There's something up there, you all.
Doesn't understand how science works for the Neil deGrasse Tyson entourage stuff. I think that's a stretch. I'm gonna say no. Yes to recording in car.
I've never seen this before caught like that. I haven't. I want you to look at this, you all. Nirka Lopez. She took this footage of the sky. It looks like it's like caked on like big things of icing, but she got the beings up there in the sky. She got a close-up of them. And I'm sure you all have seen it too. Like, here's some more of them, but we're going to look at the video because I was taking screenshots during it too.
Glued! Become a bean glued! Oh, fuck.
Okay, look at these beings, you all. Right here.
Look at these beans, you all.
And thank you, Nerica. Some more of them. We've documented these a lot on the live webcams. And then look at this. Look at the pattern on her blue reflective thing. That's up in the
Gina's full of beans, aren't we all?
sky. Look at that. I didn't do nothing to it. Nothing at all. I didn't do no filtering or nothing. This is her footage. Something's really, really, really strange. And people say, well, we've been trying to tell you. Of course, we're aware of a sun simulator, but this right here is the first time I think it's been.
That's a fake sun on the bingo card. H. Baird says Gina lives a far more interesting life than any of us. How many people can say they went to the sun wearing an astronaut Halloween costume? Checkmate. It's true. First name punch numbers says, look at these beans, you all. Me posting pics of my cat. That should be the new raid notification. Look at these beans, you all.
Perhaps documented that I've seen of. And the beings in the sky. Yeah, those are real. They are. So with that being said, hello wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours. Love you.
She's so sweet. I feel for Gina so much. She's just lovely. She hurts my heart.
We are looking at the squid ship. Its manifestation into the sky above the observatories. Specifically, the Subaru telescope has captured it in the sky. And I've put it in the edge detect to show a different filtering of what this thing looks like in the sky as it rotates, and it's a solid object. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
She's anti-Cece, right? Like, she thinks there's aliens and cloud beings, and she's not mad about it. She's just like, look at this, you all. She's just thrilled. She's thrilled to death. I love her. She is the precious bean that must be protected at all costs.
In the sky, and quite possibly unlike anything you have ever seen in the sky yourself. There truly is something supernatural about it, and mystical, otherworldly about it. It doesn't look like it's a naturally occurring cloud, no matter how they try to say it is. It doesn't.
Look at this cloud I found, you all. It looks like a squid. She's basically showing us, look at this cool cloud I saw. Gina, you're a treasure.
Look like it. It doesn't feel like it. It totally feels different. And
like, it feels like talking to a kid. You know that age where kids are like, you can communicate with them because they can talk and form sentences, but they're not like old enough to know how things work, even vaguely, so they just kind of spout nonsense and are just like, look at this thing. Like, she's got that energy.
Again, this is on March the 6th, and it started around 8:30 in the morning. You can see that it looks like it spawns other ships, like they come off of it, and it does seem to take a very strange shape, and at one point it looks like it's got a great big mouth, like a dragon mouth or a snake mouth at the end, and this looks like a shell of some type of a ship. It's like it's cloaking and decloaking, and it can change its shape. It really can. It can add to itself. It can take away. It can vanish in the blink of an eye, but yet regain.
Like water vapor. Bumble Homestead says, y'all watch, the aliens will land and the only news footage available to the press will be Gina filming "They're here, you all." The good ending.
Its structure. It's quite fascinating, to say the least. It really is. And we're just trying to gain some more understanding of what is out there in the sky. We know we see the traditional UFOs and things like that, and light beings and orbs, but this right here, how it showed up and how it has a rotation, that it just keeps rolling in the sky. And it's very unusual, the layering that takes place. And I've seen something similar to this back in around 2019, and it was layered all around the sky, every single perimeter, north, south, east, or west.
Okay. That's probably enough, Gina. What did we get from that? Probably aliens. Doesn't understand how cameras work, for sure. Aliens. Fake sun, correct. So like holographic sun. I've been talking to Peter, by the way. Did I mention that? Doesn't understand how cameras work. Where is holographic? There we go. How's Peter? He's doing good. He thought I'd be embarrassed because I'm vaccinated and boosted many times. He's like, because like I initially messaged him, and then I forgot about it. So then he messaged me again and was like, oh, because one of his questions was like, how many times have you been vaxxed and boosted by now or whatever? And I didn't know he messaged me back, so I wasn't messaging. So he sent me another one that's like, no answer, you're embarrassed, I thought so, or whatever. I got back to him and was like, no, I've been, vaccinated and boosted, plan on continue being in the future, and I'm doing fine. So, we'll see if anything comes of that. It would be nice to have Peter on again sometime. This might make me giggle. It's AI. Oh, I saw these earlier.
Alright, I would like to start off with saying Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And I just wanted to do a quick video about this subject matter that I've seen a few people mentioning online, right, throughout the years. This is nothing new, right? This isn't something that people just came up with. I remember seeing, people on YouTube.
You think Peter might be embarrassed? Probably. I don't know how much money he put in, but I know he was putting money into Digital World Acquisition Group, which is this company, because it's the company that was, I think, the holding company dealing with basically it's Truth Social stock. Truth Social, the Donald Trump social media site that's failed terribly. He bought in when this stock was between $40 and $80. Here's the yearly, this is the 5-year. And now it's down to $13, and I know Peter bought into this, or at least he claimed he was going to. And like I said, he bought in between 40 and 60. So, like, at best, he's quartered his money.
Making videos about this, like, what, 4 or 5 years ago? And
Let me
that
see if he
is the
messaged me
subject
again,
matter
actually.
of, they believe that the physical sun in the sky is actually God. And no, that's not even a joke. They really believe that. They believe that the physical, as they tell us in school, right, the physical ball of fire in the sky, which that's a totally different conversation as to
The sun is not fire.
what the sun actually
I feel like I need to... Do people still not... I understand, it's fine to colloquially talk about it as if it is. It's whatever. But, like, it's not.
is, and how far is its distance from the earth, because the Bible teaches a local sun to the earth, but that's a different subject, so I won't go off on that. But they're teaching that the physical sun in the sky is actually God himself.
Are we just going all the way back to sun worship? Is this how far we've regressed?
Right, so I have to clarify when I say the sun, because I'm not talking about how, like, how it says Christ, right, is the Son of God, which is true that Christ is the Son of God. But when we speak about them saying that God is the Son, I'm not talking about as in, say, for an example, if you're a father and you have a son, that's not what this is about, right? So they're, even though they sound similar, they're
Yes, sir, we know that the word son can have different meanings depending on how it's spelled. Oh, God.
two different things.
I don't know if you guys know this, but sometimes there are words that sound the same, but they mean different things.
So the sun,
Hydrate.
in the context of the video that I'm making, is talking about the physical sun in the sky, not about, Christ being the Son of God, just to give that clarification as well. Sounds similar, but means something different. Okay, so now we got the clarification out of the way. I just wanted to, react to this.
It's actually not synonyms. Synonyms are different words that have the same meaning. Words that sound the same but have different meanings are homonyms? Question mark? Is it homonyms? It's one of the nyms. Homonyms. Fuck yes. Schoolhouse Rock wins again.
Because I thought it was so ridiculous and preposterous. And one of the evidences that they give to
Or is it homophones? Fuck.
support the belief they have is they give this scripture here. It's Psalms 84, verse 11. It says, "For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly." Right, but they focus on the first part of the verse. It says, "For the Lord God is a sun." And they'll use that to say, we'll see. It says the Lord is the sun. So that proves that the physical, ball of fire in the sky, that's God right there, right? The sun in the sky, that's God, because here it says that the Lord is a sun. But then my response would be, it's like, okay, well,
It's metaphorical. It's metaphorical. Like he's a light of holy, like, radiance. So why don't Christians understand metaphor? Their holy book is so full of it. Please learn what a metaphor is. Oh my God.
if you're going to take this literal, because obviously this is a symbolic meaning.
Oh,
This
thank
isn't,
God. Oh, thank God he knows what symbolism is. Oh, no.
literally saying that God is actually a physical.
I thought this was going to go to a point where he was like, this is why they don't want us to look directly at the sun, guys. Because it's God. So go look at the sun. Do not look at the sun.
Burning ball of fire in the sky above our heads. That's not what this is talking about. And again, if you want to take it literal, and if somebody's listening to this who does believe in this theory,
Theory.
well, my question for you is, what about the next two words? It says, and shield. A shield, what is a shield? In ancient warfare, the troops on each side of the armies, when they clash, that go to battle, more often than not, they would carry a shield with them, right? A wooden shield, right? So, again, with that being said, it says the Lord God is a sun and shield. If you're going to say, well, it says that he's the sun, so see, that proves he's the sun in the sky. But what about where it says that he's a shield? So is God actually a wooden shield?
Yes. Moving on. Oh, God. Orb lady. Maps and Mimic says, ma'am, I don't know if you know this, but the Bible is meant to be 100% literal. Maybe you should do a Bible study or something. Read some chick tracts. I'll do my best. Kat the Satanist says, sometimes I like to imagine Martin Luther in heaven looking at what his work to make the Bible accessible has resulted in. That's so fucking true. Like, I'm not saying what was going on prior to the Reformation was good, just like, oh my God. Whatever. Power to the laity until they start believing in flat earth. Then maybe rein it in a little.
Well, hello, this is Michelle Ann Titler narrating. I turned the audio off on this original video where I quit Q Army because I really wanted to concentrate on the orbs. And so I've slowed it down by 25%.
Q cited as a source. She mentioned Q.
And I've taken the original audio out because I'm just upset and it's irrelevant at this point. What's relevant are all the orbs that are showing up. They knew I was upset for real that day. They knew that I was tired and I'd had enough. And I felt like they really were giving me some support because I did need it. And I also think that, and I kind of felt like it when I sat down, I felt like I was so upset I was ready to just kick the can to the end of the road and kick off disclosure. And I just felt like this was it. I really did. I don't know how to describe it. I just sort of sensed that somehow I was kicking off disclosure. So look at all those orbs.
Glad you could make it. Some unknown
there's
random
some people
girl.
that are calling them dust. Even some people in
Ma'am, it is dust. It's dust.
in Q Army are calling them dust. And the satanic left are calling them dust. They're not dust, they're light.
The satanic left are calling this dust. If you know, you know.
Orbs. When your body dies, that's your soul. You're a light orb. We're spirits from God. The malevolent ETs, the Cabal, they are not spirits from God. We are. And these are all our galactic friends showing themselves to.
To be clear, if I die and suddenly you see a lot of orbs around your cheese, that's me saying hi.
Us now. You see, I was mad and I was sick and tired of disclosure not happening, and look, this is what they did for us. This is what they did for us, for me, and for all of you. And even though I was upset at that moment, and even though later on I still didn't really feel like, oh hi, I just saw an orb come in front. Oh hi, there's an orb here live while I'm shooting the audio. I see you. You won't be seeing that yourself. You'll be seeing all the orbs on the original video. But I just had an orb live around me. Hi.
Oh shit, Hannah mentions cheese on bingo. True.
But yeah, I wanted to put this out there, and I think I'll take the other ones down because it took me a while to come down. But I'm not mad anymore, and I'm really honored. I'm really honored that you guys swarmed me like that and gave me that much love. I love you too. Hi, there's another orb. You came right down from the queue. I love you, Q. I love you. And I think this is a good idea. I kind of felt nudged to put a different audio over top and to concentrate on the orbs. So even though you can hear my voice and it doesn't match the slow motion.
I just love the muted video that you can tell she's screaming.
What's important are the orbs. Those really are our friends. And they really are here. Oh, there's another orb. Hi. You guys are coming in from the light outside. Hi, that's a few of you now. Hi, you're beautiful. Hi. I'm looking forward to them showing up in front of my eyes. For some reason, we can't see them with our eyes. It's just got to do with, I don't know, optics and the way things work. But I know, I love knowing that they're right behind me here. I can feel them.
Oh, she's doing awesome.
Ascension to 5D Earth. Shift to Sheen.
5D on the bingo card.
This will be a wonderful and amazing time for all. The soul and true self will finally be able to come forth without resistance. The light that is within each being and form of life will be at the expression that Source intended. All the lives lived will merge into one if they have not already. The pure desires and intentions of self and another will be the same. The talents and interests that one has will be amplified and enjoyed in a new way. They will seem to be perfected. This will be because no dark forces will be left. It will be like Scripture says, now we see through a glass darkly, but then we shall see face to face. We shall know as we are known. There will be a new love for nature and the knowledge that all is sacred and alive. Crystals will be activated and programmed much as we can do now, but these living entities of love will be connected to the person who has them in a new way. They contain energy and information. They will be held in the palm and give and receive information to and from the holder, much like a computer. They have always been used for galactic travel, and finally all will have access to this. Space travel will become common as all will become accustomed to the new frequencies. Multiple strands of DNA and a normal life of 5D and beyond will be activated for all. There will remain choices.
She must be on some strong hallucinogens. It's just the human condition.
For those who wish to expand
she's high on life.
And a normal life of 5D and beyond.
Word salad. Yeah, that's fair.
Will be activated for all. There will remain choices for those who wish to expand consciousness at a slower pace. This gives freedom of choice. Freedom is our right as beings. There will be only holistic types of treatments. We will not call them medicines, but they will be considered to be part of a healthy and whole life. These will be obtained from the beautiful plants and flowers, no longer contaminated by the toxins once sprayed. The flowers and vegetables will once again look as they should and contain all we need to sustain. They will be much like tequila, where our flowers are the sizes of cantaloupes now. Water will be pure and can be obtained naturally from streams and be safe. Animals will be at peace and walk among all people without either having fear. A new communication and understanding will be, and there will be no desire for humans to eat or kill the creatures again. If one is an artist or creator, their desire will heighten and their work will be magnificent. Music will be enjoyed as never before. Palladians brought music to the planet, and we will have celebrations just as we do at home. It is good to think and imagine these things now, as each thought is creating life in the fourth density. This assists in expanding consciousness now, and also assists in all things you desire before the shift to Sheen occurs. Sheen is already there. Beings are there waiting in anticipation. In a moment quicker than it is possible to imagine, you will be there. Crafts will fly in all directions, and people will be overjoyed. No fear at all. Music will play as it is playing now in Sheen. You will remember your lives. You will know all of your travels and all your times as a guide.
She's so proud.
Just a reminder to everyone, there's nothing to be afraid of when it comes to our galactic brothers and sisters and what's going on with Q and disclosure. There's nothing to be afraid of because the malevolent, bad ETs have been in control for thousands of years as it is already. Everything bad that could have happened to us has already happened to us. We need to release ourselves from the matrix, the mind control. raise the vibrations, stay open to new teachings that are coming to us, and stay open to new, like it's really exciting. Be excited. They're doing sightings all around the world. They're showing us their ships. They're doing soft disclosure to get everybody comfortable so that we see that they're not attacking us. The sinking of Atlantis is when the bad guys...
Fuck! Atlantis on the bingo card! That's a relatively rare one. That's not like epic loot, but it's like... it's rare.
took over, and now the good guys are back to assist in the liberation of Earth. And we have every reason to believe that the best is yet to come.
More Atlantis
So,
conspiracy
stay high,
theories.
and
I feel like all the crazy Atlantis people started doing Tartaria stuff.
you gotta get involved in taking back your countries. But they're here to assist us, and that's happening. All the dark forces are being defeated, and the light forces are winning, and we're ascending to 5D Earth, and you should look into that too. All right, peace out. Plus a mix of other galactics.
Okay, let's take a look at the bingo card, because she definitely filled some stuff out. Boy. Hannah mentions cheese Hot Pockets. Believe sci-fi tech actually exists? Word salad. 5D. Clintons, because one of those images had Hillary Clinton as one of the evil aliens. Q claimed as a source. Atlantis. Jesus Christ, lady. Do we get Bible as a source for the last guy? Sure. Let me throw that up real quick. Only reputable source is the Bible. Page 2. Believes they speak to aliens regularly. That lady thinks she's a conduit for aliens. I think that's it. I think that's it. Have I ever done a video that's checked all the slots on the card? No. Oh, yep. The Matrix one, too. Doesn't understand the Matrix as a metaphor for being trans. I'm gonna say no to the thinly veiled anti-Semitism. Because there are people in the image who weren't Jewish. So. Q claimed as a source is one. Did I miss it? I don't think Q in and of itself is... hell... I'm going to say no, because the same thing was used for Q claimed as a source, and I try and keep things to one. If it's marginal and it's kind of teetering between two, I usually pick one, and I think it's closer to Q claimed as a source. Because she didn't talk about any specific policies or anything that were chuddy. Red Werewolf says, after Tartaria, they should get into Hyperborea so their internet search gets confused by Final Fantasy XIV fan art. Q started as a 4chan thing, but then it moved to 8chan and their own site, I think, briefly. They currently reside on 8chan, probably Jim and Ron Watkins.
Because there's so much to talk about today. And I want to thank all you guys. I haven't had a chance to do my viewer mail for my mailing yet. and I haven't had a chance. Here's the thing about Ryushin. He's got a working theory. He does not have evidence. He does not have proof. How are you going to prove this? You can't.
Staggering hypocrisy on the bingo card.
And he keeps calling it evidence. Any court would laugh him right out of court. It's not evidence, and here's why. There is no evidence, okay? There's a lot of things out there. You can pick and choose the ones that you feel are real, and you can tell why you think they're real, and show supporting things that support your opinion that they're real. But you have to prove that it's real. You have to prove that nobody made that in their garage, okay? God, why do I have to do this? This is the most common thing ever. Okay, HorrorCon, all right? Look at these people. They make this stuff all the time way better than the stuff he's showing on his website, okay? People do this. They make this stuff, all right? Here they have conventions where they make these things. And they wear these masks and these costumes, and they look like aliens and creatures and everything, and they do a pretty damn good job because they want to get a job in the movie industry. I guess the movie industry scouts these conventions, and some of these people are special effects people.
Chiwahawk with Link says we're living in idiocracy.
We've got all this, like, evidence.
The one I like idiocracy, but I wish it wasn't so eugenicsy. But, where did the video we were just watching go?
You think, well, let's go through this. Here's Dragon Con. Here's another one where they look. They spend all this money. They go in their garage. They have a setup. They make this stuff, and they do this for a hobby or for a living. Look, right here. Right here. And here is a special effects convention where they make all... Don't even talk to me about any proof. You don't have any proof. You have a working theory and a lot of images that support that working theory that you cannot validate. And that comes out of NASA. So,
okay, now let's hear her talk about flat Earth. Now that she's done chastising this guy for having a lack of evidence, now let's hear her talk about flat Earth.
But I can't prove they're real. And meme. But what a meme. It's got a plasma screen on it.
Guys, she, shows this meme every episode of her show. She has shown this meme before and talked about it. She's obsessed with this fucking meme.
Is that proof? No. But I think it's a clue. God. Am I going to have to say that this whole video? Because that really gets on my nerves. And it has gotten on my nerves this whole time, Ryushin. I've told you, as kind as I possibly can, it's not proof. Okay, I do want to say just one more thing. Even the maps and the documents and stuff like that. Even if you could source it back, you don't know where that map came from. Who drew those lines? And who did the data on that? That's underground bases. How did they find out where these underground bases are that are on this map? How much do you know about this map that you're putting up there? Is my question to you. Do you know where the map came from? Do you know how they got the data for the map? Did they just see through the ground at the underground bases? Did they interview super soldiers to find out where the coordinates for the underground bases are and where the rails are? How did that data get on that map in the shape of Orion? Have you even done any research on that at all?
Do your own research on the bingo card.
So I kind of just need to make the point. There is no proof. You could research it up and down, and is coming to get itself he says there's another person in Holland that has been looped 4 times, and she's a woman. And back, not completely anyway. % of our brain functioning. It's so fascinating, and it's going to be on the next video. So anyway, I want to be sure and mention that. But the answer to your question is everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Put it out of your mind. Your baby's going to be with you at all times. So I want to get that out of the way really quick. but the birthing process itself was needed to be explained. And he even says, this has never happened to me. I never said anything to him. He started getting some kind of communication about it. And I think it is so fascinating. And
Tea with Goblin says, doot, Antipodian update. Parky Poser angrily decries Hobart, Tasmania, as the worst place she's ever been after massive pro-trans crowd gathered to shout her rally down. Victorian turf screeches trans flag is flown from state parliament. Small victories, but turf tears provide ample nourishment for the fight ahead.
So I wanted to give it a video of its own. I do believe in this telepathic communication. The Russians were heavily involved in it in the 70s, and they were bending spoons and doing all kinds of things like that.
What, like Yuri Geller? The fraud?
But it has been a huge part of the super soldier movement, and their, not movement, but their training, military training, and they seek out people.
I simply won't attack your army with spoons.
Who have telepathic abilities. So there's got to be a reason for all of this. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you guys, and you can watch for that. Okay, so looping. It's talking about people who have some of their memories because the white hats hit them with a beam. Now, we've only got 2.2% of our brain functioning.
No, that's a pop cultural myth. The whole, like, humans only use 10% of their brain thing is incredibly misleading. Like, you only use certain parts of your brain at certain times. If your entire brain is signaling all the time, that's a seizure. You're having a seizure if that's happening, if everything's going off. Like, you use all of your brain, you just use certain parts at certain times for certain tasks, and certain parts for different times and other tasks. You're just not using it all at the same second, if that makes sense.
So, when they hit you with that beam, I guess, you don't get all your memory back. Not with 2.2% functioning, I guess. So these threads of memories and stuff...
Chromatic Cuttlefish says, I'm prepared to believe this woman is only using 2% of her brain. And Gnome Pickle says, if humans only use 10% of their brains, we would say, oh, thank God, it's just a brain injury. True.
Or to kick.
I don't always read highlighted messages, just so you know, Jubilee Helix. It just depends. But I will save the link. I at least look at them, but I don't necessarily read them out loud.
Again, during our lives, like we start to remember things, and for this moment, when all this stuff starts to come out, things start to click with us. I mean, that's the way I'm interpreting it. And probably some of you have been. I don't know whether he said this is common or what. He just said it happens. So I don't know whether any of you are looped or feel like you might have been looped, but it means you come back with purpose. You're not just caught in the loop. You somehow were beamed or hit with this beam. So now is the time, he says, that people are getting flushed out, like they're exposing themselves. And I think...
Okay, I think that's enough of this lady. Let's listen to one of these free energy people. Free energy is impossible. Literally not how physics works to our understanding. Doesn't stop people like this, though. This is the room of a sane person, by the way. If you ever walk into someone's room and they have stuff like this all over their walls, you're good. They're definitely normal and sane, and, like, you don't have to worry about anything.
So, what I want to touch on is the jet fuel hoax. I think it's...
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams if jet fuel not real.
Important. It really ties into the free energy electrical system that we live in. and how it's used.
I'm glad he didn't take a second to run this through any sort of processing to remove the constant humming background noise, by the way. It's very raw. Takes 5 seconds to do, guys. Audacity is free. And it's very simple to figure out how to do noise reduction.
So, as far as the jet fuel hoax goes...
Why does my leg hurt? Did I bruise my leg?
Props to Jones on YouTube and Enslaved by No Media on YouTube. Those are the 2 channels that brought this to my awareness.
Wasn't Audacity recently bought? I actually don't know. I have an old version because I'm used to it.
And
I haven't used it in a long time, though, because I generally stream now. I don't do pre-recorded content. And even if I did, now I have a newer program where I can... I guess it would make sense to capture audio and video separately, just in case. But I'd probably use Audacity as the backup if I had to. I don't know. There are plenty of free programs for processing audio.
I've investigated it and dove into it and tried to tie it into everything else that seems to be electrical, because how Earth is set up, it's electrical. You know, our motherboards are set up like, cities.
Oh god, it's another one of these reasoning by way of it looks like a thing I recognize. Look, yes, circuit boards have been compared to cities in that they're sort of laid out in paths for the circuitry, and there are different, like, items on the circuit board that have different functions that you could picture as the buildings, but they're not cities. They're circuit boards. Ha! Oh.
Those are motherboards. Those are cities.
Yes.
Very similar.
Not really, in the sense that there are, like, paths and then objects offset from those paths. Sure. But, like, a lot of things bear superficial resemblance to each other. It doesn't mean that they inherently have some sort of connection. It's completely specious reasoning. Like, it's I don't even know. This has got to be a fallacy, right? What would even the name of this fallacy be?
This is a little earlier,
It's like argument via aesthetic. I don't know.
Ancient times, as far as they say ancient. They lie about everything, so probably the time frame too, but,
Ah, yes, the Tron was a documentary hypothesis. That'd be sweet, because that would mean that the soundtrack to Real Life was done by Daft Punk, and that's pretty cool.
So, the jet fuel hoax, what they tell us is they put 10 tons of liquid fuel in these wings of the planes. 10 tons of fuel in these wings.
Mm-hmm. If they were to fill it fully. But typically they don't fill planes all the way if they don't have to, because if it's lighter during flight, then it actually takes less fuel, because that's just kind of how shit works. But yeah, a lot of the plane wings, yeah, typically have a lot of fuel in them.
Which would look like that in weight.
What do you mean look like that in weight? We don't measure weight in look. Okay, so these cars are solid, and they have a lot of empty space in them because it's a car, not a liquid or fluid, right? So the volume of these cars is very different than a similar volume or rather a similar weight of fuel. The same amount of fuel in the weight of the car would take up far less volume because it's denser. Do I need to explain that? That fuel is... Okay. Or, I don't... The fuel is not in the shape of a bunch of cars. It's a liquid.
All those, cars piled on.
Analogy fallacy, where one similarity is taken to mean they share other parallels. Okay.
Those wings would equal the amount of fuel that they tell us that they put in the wings of the planes.
Okay.
And the wings don't dip.
One car weighs 2,500 pounds minimum. This is way off. How many pounds did he say? 10 tons? Yeah, that's probably way off.
They don't, fall down a little bit when they get all that liquid in there. 10 tons? Well, something's up with that.
It's almost as if the wings were designed to hold that fuel. Weird.
That prompted me to definitely look into that a little bit more. And it came down to the turbines. And what the turbines do is they pull in the air, which is electrical. Air is electricity. The air, which is electrical. Air is electricity.
Air is not electricity. I'm trying to figure out a charitable way of interpreting this. Air is not electricity. What? Baja says the size of a ton of lead is much smaller than the size of a ton of feathers because lead is denser.
Tesla knew that. Tesla figured that out, pulled that atmospheric energy out of the air, and they pull that electrical air into these turbines, which have tuning forks and
Tuning forks! Ooh. We're getting a little mystical.
Them. And these tuning forks can be tweaked and tuned.
Does this make commercial airplanes a bard?
Right there. And that creates resonance, and that's what creates all that sound when you hear a turbine revving up.
No, that would be the turbine moving. That would be the engine running.
It's creating a frequency. Which
every sound creates a frequency. Sound is measured in frequency. It's a wave. What?
Is going to turn that air when it's
like you can't just say a frequency. A frequency of what? Like you can measure the frequency of something that is waves. But what is the frequency? Like, what are you measuring as the frequency? You can't just say frequency. That doesn't mean anything.
Pressed into a gas, a fuel. So it's just taking the air, the electrical air out of our atmosphere, compressing it, resonating it to a certain frequency, a tone that will make it vibrate, turns it into a gas, bam, there's your free energy.
I didn't put my head in my hands, I don't think. Did I? I did stop and consider. I was more just thinking about it, though. I wasn't exasperated as much as I was just confused. I'm gonna say no, because I didn't feel disappointed as much as I just did, like, what?
engine using the air.
Broha says I did, so I'm gonna go with that. Sure. We'll count it.
And how they figured that out was the Fibonacci sequence.
The Fibonacci sequence should be on the bingo card.
Your Fibonacci sequence is in the turbine.
The Fibonacci sequence is coming from within the turbine.
So they use that that Fibonacci sequence, which is in all of nature, your hurricanes, your tornadoes, your weather patterns.
The Fibonacci sequence is literally just a fucking ratio.
Because the Fibonacci sequence is what they call the Coriolis effect, and the Coriolis effect is BS. This is what causes your...
What do you mean by that? When you say this, what do you mean? What do you think this is? Like, what do you think this drawing is showing you?
Flow of life. The clouds and the storms, they all have this, and all of nature has this. Animals and snails and the Fibonacci sequence, and they've used that formula just like they've used the electricity in the air to create our motherboards and power our cities for free with Tesla coils like that.
No, that's not what that is.
You know? And they use that sequence, turn it into a free power engine, and...
I just find it interesting. I don't know how many airplane mechanics there are in the United States. Let's see. How many jet mechanics are there in the world? Not even just the US. Well, that's statistics about the United States. I'm getting two different sources. Let's see. What does this one say? This is from Statista, so... The number of certified airplane mechanics, which airplane is different than jet. But this says airplane, 306,000. So that's like 1/3 people. You think 1/3 people? And that's just people who are, like, registered as airplane mechanics. You could probably know a lot about airplane jet engines and not actually be a certified mechanic, right? You think 1/3 people are hiding the secret of free energy when it could make any of them rich, or at the very least famous, and you think they're hiding this for what reason?
It's an air, because it uses the air, plane, because it flies over a plane. That's my take on the jet fuel hoax, and I can definitely see why they would do that, because they already use free electricity out of the air to power our cities with electrical masts up on top of skyscrapers. That's from the...
Oh my god. Lightning rods don't collect electricity, like, in that way. And if they did, it wouldn't be enough to do anything substantial, because, well, lightning is, like, it's powerful. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying one lightning bolt is a really quick, powerful jolt of electricity. But, like, You can't power a whole city with it for a day, you know? That's not how it works. You wouldn't get enough electricity from lightning to collect to do anything with. That's not how it works. The meme stop people are going to be insufferable now. GameStop shares surge as cost cuts drive surprise profit. Oh, God, no! Here we go. Guess we're gonna do a meme stock stream sometime soon, probably.
Great Aaron Dover. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So most of this comes down to utilizing free electricity out of the air and charging us for fake fossil fuels, fake nuclear energy fuels. And if they could do it, wouldn't they? Right?
What's up, dudes? So I wanted to talk.
Is this just a
little bit
completely
about
different person? God damn.
mud fossils. I have a lot of pictures that I've taken of them. Here's a cool comparison between a fossil that was found in a desert, and you have the never-ending story.
Falcor Atreyu.
So you have that connection. Then all these rock formations across Earth that have been photographed and put on Google.
See you, Marusama. Thanks for stopping by.
That all look like giant creatures.
You still going to GameStop for used games slightly more reliable than getting used games from eBay? I can understand that. I'm lucky. There's like a used games and DVD place near me that's like great and has a way bigger selection than like GameStop. It's nice. They give you better deals on like trade-ins and stuff too, in my experience.
It's because they were. So I'm jamming out to this song too. That is clearly a monkey. Right near me, and that is clearly a monkey.
Monkey!
But yeah, so just to kind of show you guys that all these, you know, mud fossils that you can find on Google and all that, you know, they're also right around here. This is cool. And they put it right in front of our face. Look, giant eagle.
Giants on the bingo card.
They named sports teams after them.
Yeah? There are sports teams named after mythical creatures. That happens.
It's just what they do.
Holy shit, Shrek, it's Shrek. Part of his evidence is Shrek. Shrek is on his list of evidence. Mud fossil, aka a rock. This is just the digital version of having a bunch of stuff pinned to a cork board. I want you to imagine all of these pictures pinned to his wall, because I think this file format makes him look less crazy than he actually is. Please imagine, for the sake of my sanity, the Shrek picture and the Giants logo all tied together with red string on his office wall.
You know, and they're all over Google.
Guys, did you know that when you Google a thing, that thing you Googled will come up?
Another thing they do pull up these icebergs. So all of these icebergs also, like, click on that one. That looks like a praying mantis, you know, so what's up with these icebergs? They just
We did not get Psyop or
don't look
reptilians
right.
now.
You know? That was here. Connected with you.
Hexagonal dome. They like to put it in movies. They put truth in movies. Look at that dome and that scene with the hexagon. Here's another dome shot.
For his very serious breakthrough theory, he printed out not one, but 2 black and white photos of Monsters, Inc. and pinned them to his conspiracy corkboard. All right. We're in.
Yeah, so, yeah, you know,
I'm sorry. There are 5 pictures of Monsters, Inc. that he printed off. I apologize. I undersold what was happening here. There are 5 black and white printed pictures from Monsters, Inc.
it sounds insane, and I think it's okay. You know, icebergs are hoaxed. Ice melts in water.
At room temperature, yeah! Oh my fucking god!
And it's just all part of their ultimate design to hide free energy and how they get it. They have to hook us with stuff like that to control our minds. Right?
What?
They're good at it. That's okay. We can figure this stuff out and guard the gates of our mind. And just knowing that this is what they're doing.
I don't know if it's Hypnotize of Laughter, but I'll say sure. I'll say sure. I've definitely died more, but I'll say that breached the minimum. Hydrate.
Knowing it and learning it and understanding it, we can guard the gates of our minds and we can feel liberated. That's awesome, you know? We can understand things. Or no, not understand, overstand. We can overstand it. Awesome.
Hey guys. So, I'm going to talk a few minutes about the Wild Wild West. And
let's take a look at the bingo sheet real quick. We definitely have to. No. It's supposed to be do your own research. Giants. Spurious symbology as evidence. Wait, what was 24? Let me double check. Oh, that's the wrong button! Oh, I got it. Santa might die of laughter. Hannah's exasperated. Do your own research. I think that's it.
How I see it as being a hoax. Yeah, they use numerology and numbers and language against us all the time.
Numerology on the bingo card?
And, you know, wild, WW, you rotate that to the left, right? Left?
And you'll have 2 W's on their side, which is not the same thing as the number 3.
You get 33. 33 is a number used, kind of like, how, like, it's symbolism. It's communication without words. Numbers are used to communicate information. We're in this group. You take WWW, which is 333. 3 times is 999. Flipped is 666. 666 is not a bad number. It's just it's language. So WWW, Wild Wild West, WWW, WWW, World Wide Web, World War III, hoaxes.
We did it!
Yeah, so you got the 1865 to 1895, so they have definitive years that the Old West was.
I mean, I would imagine that's, you know, there are gray areas, but I don't know, that's probably what's generally agreed upon. But yeah, you could say, well, this event arguably is still within that, and this event is a precursor, maybe part of it. It's arbitrary. This guy's voice and music is like Sleepy Time Tea. And Mr. Whiskers says, March sub goal is at 347. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Heaven is retro media. This has to mean something, right? Yeah. It means someone should give more subs. Steve with the Q says, don't say Wild Wild West 3 times. You'll summon Will Smith. Oh no, I did it!
It's famous for cowboys, native Indians, the lawmen, you know, gamblers, scouts. It's all this kind of like gangs and gunfighters. It's just a hoax. There was a flood in 1862, just before 1865. So, you know, they could be lying about this whole time period, kind of just making it up. It's a hoax. They say the Wild West ended quickly for a few reasons. Changes from the progressive era, inventions, the automobile, and barbed wire. They claim that as a reason for the Wild West ending quickly. Barbed wire when cows are being moved. Some farmers couldn't go gather. So, yeah, that's a bizarre reason. Yeah. Then you get into, you know, the steam engine. We're starting to use free energy. Figuring out how to.
Steam engines aren't free energy. You
Use,
have to burn things to make steam. How do you think things work?
compressed air, turn it into a fuel.
Or at least you need some energy source to heat water to make steam. Jesus.
You get all these
Like, even nuclear energy at the end of the day is just a different way to make steam. It's a way to heat water to make steam. Fundamentally, that is what, like, most energy production is, except for, like, I don't know, solar power. It's getting something to move somehow, whether it's wind or steam or whatever. Similar process.
characters, Jesse James, Billy the Kid, Butch Cassidy, just characters, just like in the movies. You know, they make all these Western movies. It's a time frame that has been hoaxed on us.
The public perception of the Wild Wild West is definitely shaped by pop culture, but that doesn't mean the actual era didn't exist. It means that the pop cultural representation of a specific time period is not correct. And that's common. That's normal. Like different time periods get romanticized, and there comes tropes and stuff that aren't necessarily in line with what was really going on, but people like those stories, and it says something about maybe the culture that creates those stories and shapes those narratives. Regardless, it doesn't mean, like, the Wild West didn't exist. It did. It's just different than Bonanza.
You know, they lie about his story. You know, his story.
That is not the etymology of history. Incorrect etymology is evidence on the bingo card.
And here we go. You know, his story. And you know, they like to make us think that our the time periods before now, that we are more advanced than they were, but that's
Technologically, we are.
opposite.
Nope.
They were more advanced than us, so they have to manipulate our perspective of his story. Because there was some sort of, flood or something that happened and wiped out this whole time period. So they're probably, they interjected all these years, 30 years here, where there was some sort of thing that happened. And this whole time period is just a hoax. All these movies, they make movies to control our perspective. They put it in the comics. Giant, giants existed.
God damn it.
They put that in all kinds of, movies and name everything after it. Tell us we're monkeys. Here's some giants I took. Here's giants all over the world. And it's in a Western movie.
Western.
So yeah, just some thoughts on, the Wild West being a hoax that whole time period. Maybe it's, they say it's what, 2018. Maybe it's 1918. They lie about everything else. Why not about his story?
The date is arbitrary. It's what we all agree to in order to keep things straight in terms of, like, chronology. So, like, the name we call it is, again, irrelevant. It is the year right now, 2023, because that's what we're all saying it is. It's what we've agreed to call this year. There's no objective thing out there that makes it the year 2023 other than us saying that. Gnome Pickle says, in the Wild West, never happened because that was just in movies, but we know that giants are real because we put them in movies.
No. Alright. Cool.
That was uncomfortable. This guy's interesting. What an interesting guy.
Just a quick little video on helicopters and how they are able to fly, levitate, resonate, without the rotary blades spinning. Hang on a second.
Is he literally going to show footage of a helicopter going, but, like, the shutter speed of the camera is running, like, at a certain frame rate, so it looks like the helicopter blades are standing still, even though we all understand what's happening? Is he going to pretend like that's proof that helicopter blades don't need to spin? Yup! He's literally doing the thing. Okay, so doesn't understand how cameras work, which we already had on the bingo card. But this is a big doesn't understand how cameras work. Cameras work by taking a lot of pictures very quickly in a row, right? The standard, I think, is like 24 frames per second, typically, or around there. If your frame rate matches the same rate at which something is spinning in a circle, then your camera will make it look like it's standing still because the same exact part is in the same exact place every time the quick photo is taken, right? So you need to change your frame rate to capture the motion. So what he is seeing is an effect of basically just how cameras work.
Yeah, they use a turbine engine. Hang on a second.
Like, he knows enough about editing to add background music, but not enough to add pictures in post. Steve with the Q says 24 frames per second for film, 30 for TV, 60 or 120 for abominations unto God. Yeah, let's not talk about the 120 frames Hobbit. Looks like you're on set. Oh.
Pull the air through that turbine. Resonate.
That's fair. He could just be playing this music out loud in the scene. I don't know.
Helicopters don't fly, they levitate. And they don't need...
Oh, this poor guy. We're gonna watch this guy so often. He's great. Oh. I have to urinate. So, give me a sec while I put something on for you guys to watch. Here, watch some Oblivion NPCs being weird while I pee.
Your lips to his ears.
Your stick is a lot nicer than mine, Cher Gordon. He loves dogs. Dogs like sticks. Dogs like meat. I wonder if they like meat on a stick. Why does everyone in this city look at me like I'm speaking gibberish? You can! Bless you, my lord! I should have known that you, of all people, would be able to understand me. Well, hello there. It's good to see such a well-equipped individual as yourself around these parts. But you look tired. Carrying all that gear will do that to you. I'd be glad to shoulder some of the burden, relieve you of that expensive stuff. Or is there something else I can take from that? I mean, help you with?
You got some skooma, eh? Right, buddy? Pal? To share? Come on, pass the skooma already.
Gimme and hungry. Got food? Sweet cakes? Sausages?
Hello. Don't mind me. I'm a little tired. Can't sleep at home, you know. The walls, they aren't safe. Don't you know? You don't, do you? Well, it's lucky you met me. Here, you've been walking around as if nothing could happen. Well, there's an idea. Why didn't I think of that? But where would I sleep? I need some place to sleep. I've seen some people sleeping out on the street, but they huddle too close to the walls. I need someplace safe. I can't just sleep anywhere. There are walls and statues and all sorts of things that can fall on me. Can't have that. Nope.
Alright, back to it.
I wanted to share a video with everyone that I found fascinating, that was made by one of my oldest Flat Earth friends, who was there with me when I started my Flat Earth investigation. Here is my friend's channel, who goes by the name better known as WrongThink. I'll have a link in the description. I definitely recommend you subscribe to his channel. Now, I have been a subscriber of another channel called Vibes of Cosmos for a couple of years now, I think, and I always found his primary premise worth considering, but I have not agreed with it. I have watched a lot of his videos, but I cannot say I've seen everything of his, but I think he was the first one who made this claim. You can correct me if I'm wrong about that. I'll have a link.
Do I remember this guy?
Why be an atheist? Why be an atheist? Why be an atheist when there's freaking awesome faiths? You could be deist. You could be Unitarian. You could be Quaker. You could be Taoist. You could be Buddhist. You could be Hindu. You could be pagan. Why be an atheist? Why be an atheist? Why be...
This is interesting, because he's not necessarily just saying you need to be a Christian, he's saying any sort of religion is better than not being religious. Like, I understand the cringe factor here, I recognize it. I'm just more interested in, like, I'd love to talk to this guy and be like, interesting, why do you feel that way?
An atheist with a freaking awesome face. You could be something better than an atheist. So why be an atheist? Why be an atheist? Why be an atheist when there's freaking awesome faith?
I'm assuming that maybe just comes from an ignorant, he maybe doesn't know what an atheist is? I don't know. Or doesn't know that you can be like a good, decent person and be an atheist? I don't know.
To the Vibes of Cosmos channel in the description as well. In short, the claim is that the moon's topography is somehow representative of the Earth's topography. In other words, the moon is somehow a real map of our world.
Why do you think that?
Although I found the argument by Vibes of Cosmos thought-provoking, I have not agreed with it. But I always try to maintain an open but critical and objective mind. Flat Earth has certainly taught me to not judge ideas too quickly. Truth can come from anywhere, and the smallest channels. That said, my friend's video that you're about to watch makes the moon map claim a bit more plausible in my mind. I had never thought about the underwater topography aspect. I share it with my Flat Earth family, not because I want you to believe it, but so that you can likewise ponder it, reasonably debate it, and share your own thoughts and conclusions. My very intelligent friend has spent thousands of hours studying this topic and is 100% convinced that this is the smoking gun proof for the flat earth, and will be sharing more videos on the topic. Anyways, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did.
Welcome to Cylonetical Physics Volume 1, an exercise in visual pattern recognition. Empiricism, a method of inquiry by which a postulation can be verified or disproved by direct evidence, measurement, or experiment. Core axioms.
Hats off.
All maps are scale models of reality.
Oh, we don't do hats off on tinfoil days, because I'm already wearing stuff. So save it for the next stream, Acelesses.
Latitude and longitude are points on an Earth map projection that help you find a specific location. The scale of a map is the ratio used to correct the distance on the map projection to the corresponding distance on the ground. We now have empirical evidence of the true Earth map. The following is a series of Earth map projections. As a general rule, the horizontal red lines are latitude and the vertical red lines are longitude. As these lines intersect, they create bounded areas. The bounded areas of each projection cover the same area of Earth as the corresponding bounded areas on the other projections. The shapes of the bounded areas influence the shape of the continents contained therein. Despite the subtle differences, these are the same land masses.
Yeah?
Here are several different projections of Africa. Notice the shape of the continent and the angles on the coastline changes. This is because of the coordinate system. When the bounded area is largely composed of wide rectangles, Africa becomes squat and wide. When the bounded area is largely composed of tall, thin rectangles, Africa becomes tall and thin. When the bounded areas containing Western Africa are thinner than the ones containing
How much would you say of this is just explaining how map projections work?
Central and Eastern African coordinate system, where the top line is the North Pole and the bottom line is the South Pole. Cylindrical map projections are the ones most people are most familiar with. On the right is a polar coordinate system, where the center point is the North Pole and the outermost circle is the South Pole. We can convert between. In fact, only two objects are visible from every location on the surface of the Earth. The Sun.
Argonian Bum says, I have to say it's fascinating to watch someone take a toddler lesson and phrase it like a high school lesson.
And the Moon. The Sun is a source, a locus, if you will, of blinding light, more or less devoid of discernible features. The Moon, on the other hand, not only possesses discernible features.
Streamlabs is the way that I get the biggest cut, yes. It's this
Those
link.
features are its defining characteristic. The other defining characteristic of the Moon is its phases. New to waxing, to full, to waning, and back to new. An eternal cycle. This introductory episode will focus exclusively on the first quarter moon phase, better known as the waxing half moon. I must stress, this is not an arbitrary half moon, but the half moon is defined in observable reality by the shadow.
Okay, this guy's boring. He thinks the moon's a mirror somehow. This one was interesting.
When they're feeding the dead to the living, you know the end is near. Check out this death chamber, this washing machine. They call it aquamation, where they liquefy the dead.
This is actually interesting. I looked this up when I saw this video because I was like, aquamation, what's that? This is actually a newer replacement, potentially, or other option for being cremated, basically, or similar to cremation. Yeah, it's called like water cremation. Basically, they put the body in the chamber, it seals and pressurizes, and then it fills with a mixture of water and I think lye or lime or something that dissolves the body, basically, and then the chamber heats up. And it disintegrates the body, so all that's left is bones. Basically, the entire human body liquefies. And it's supposed to be better for the environment than being why am I blanking? I literally said the word cremated. It's supposed to be better than being cremated for the environment. I think it is still expensive. I don't know, but I imagine the price will come down over time, and the legality changes depending on the state. But it's certainly a thing. He's going to express, like, disgust with this. It's fine. It's fine. He's going to act like you're mainlining dead bodies. It's not. The parts of the body that are left are, like, fine. They're non-toxic. They're not some... I'm not telling you to sit there and fucking drink it. I am saying when they dispose of it, it's fine. It's not any more destructive or concerning than, let's say, for instance, doctors washing blood off their hands in the sink, right? Like, that's also biomaterial, but it gets dealt with. Or, you know, when you poop, and that gets flushed, right? Anyway, they're gonna frame this as if you're eating people.
And then dump the remains down the drain to be recycled into the municipal water supply. And so people are drinking it. They're showering in it.
They're not. They're not drinking it. Anything that's in the water, once it gets to the water treatment plant, gets either removed or dealt with chemically. Like, that's the whole point of the water treatment plant, is to treat the water to make it potable.
They're doing their laundry in it, and this is happening in most states across the country. In most major cities, they're recycling dead people and feeding it to the living.
I don't know about most major cities. Again, I don't think this is legal in most states yet, or it's maybe unregulated in a lot of states. Either way, like, it's not adding any sort of substantial biomass to the water supply that isn't dealt with, like, you know, at the water treatment plant. The plant that literally exists to remove human fecal matter and other pollutants from water.
What does that mean exactly? And they're grinding up the bones into powder. They call this calcium phosphate, which is going to be used for food processing.
Pretty sure they didn't say that. The bones get turned into like a dust that can be done with by the family, whatever they want. It's like being cremated. You get powder back.
Undoubtedly. Maybe in your vitamins. And so...
Why would they do that? Like, you could theoretically get stuff from, like, cremated bodies, but people don't, because why would you do that? Anything you could get out of a burnt body would be, like, you know, more effective and cheaper to get elsewhere.
So what are the implications when people start eating dead people, like cannibalism? Is there going to be kuru running around out there? Mad cow disease?
Nicole Slasky, that sounds interesting.
What about in a spiritual sense? What is that like when you're eating and drinking dead people? Of course, they're spraying this
You're not.
on the food supply.
No, they're not? What are you talking about?
Irrigation. They're using dead people as compost.
On the Ryland gives $10 and says, I've been enjoying your content for years and just had to tell you how delightful my best friend finds your laugh and that your coming out was instrumental to him being able to do the same. Thank you. Oh, that's great. Thanks for the tip. Appreciate it.
And people are drinking it. So what does that mean? What does that feel like?
Delicious. Now I have the power of the dead person inside me.
Ladies and gentlemen, obviously this is another satanic ritual
Satanic on the bingo card.
that's being performed before our very eyes. And essentially people are being raped by this death juice.
That's an unfortunate sentence. Gnome Pickles says, isn't this the guy who was telling us that LED headlights were a directed energy weapon? Yes, he did say that. You did say that at some point.
They're making our food out of people. Next thing, they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them.
Promise, Tiger. I promise. I'll tell the
That's one thing that never made sense about Soylent Green. I understand the concept of in desperate times that the Donner Party situation. It's like the Donner Party on a global scale. You gotta do something. But, like, breeding human beings to use them as meat wouldn't work. Because you need to feed them. That's how energy works. Like, you can't just make infinitely more people to eat. Like, that's not how anything works. You need to, like, put energy into the system. That's one of the reasons we raise, like, cows and stuff to eat, is because we can give them things that we don't eat, grass and stuff, and they'll eat that, and it'll turn into biomass that we can eat. Right? Can't do that with humans. They eat the same thing as you. So either way, you're losing. It's diminishing returns.
Tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them. Soylent Green is people.
As they're forced to drink it. Talk about drinking the Kool-Aid. Now they're drinking dead people in the major cities. That's why they're all crazy in these big cities. They're drinking dead people, and they don't even know it, for the most part.
Yummy!
And they keep finding human DNA in the food supply. What do you think that's all about?
Probably people getting hair and skin cells into the fucking food that they're producing. It's my guess.
It's probably not just aquamation, but they're probably...
It's not. That's not even how anything works.
They grinding babies and who knows what else in these meat processing plants so that people will eat human flesh without even knowing it. That's how these cult members get their kicks, ladies and gentlemen. Quite literally. So aquamation has been around for about 10 years now.
Unironically, how well is Soylent Green aged film-wise? I'd have to watch it again. I haven't seen it in a long time.
And it's spread to nearly every state and every major city because they're running out of space, they say, in the cemeteries. They just can't build a new one outside of town. So they're going to...
I mean, yeah, cemeteries to just bury bodies aren't a great use of land or space, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm not telling you what to do. Like, it's your body. Do what you want with it. Just, why waste all that land just to bury, like, a casket and a body that's going to decompose, and parts of the casket and the stuff they put in your body to preserve it are going to get into the ground, and that's not good. It's just my personal feeling that, like, cremation and stuff like that is a better way to deal with that. But that's me. Like, whatever.
Liquefy you.
On their Yeeland, thank you for gifting a sub.
And it's like the movie The Matrix. How long before people end up in pods like this, connected to the Matrix?
The Matrix isn't real.
Probably
What do you
sooner than
even
think,
mean?
ladies and gentlemen? We're well on our way to transhumanism and assimilation. But this is some scary...
On the Rye Island. Wow, I'm bad at this.
Technology. Because this can be deployed in all sorts of different ways, and people can disappear
On the Rye Land.
and just end up down the drain. Don't ask us what the video guy's doing. On vacation. So there's all sorts of different models and all sorts of different types, according to...
Gnome Pickles says there was a process I was reading about where some scientists were looking to find a way to turn bodies into soil, which sounds rad to me.
the reports. There's the hardcore hydrolysis, and then there's the soft hydrolysis. And the difference is the temperature and the time it takes to dissolve a body. It can take between 3 hours and 8 hours. So imagine you've got a laundromat like this somewhere.
Why? It would be at the morgue. It would be wherever they normally do cremation, at a funeral home or a morgue or something. What are you talking about?
How many people can disappear in a day in a laundromat just like this with these types of washing machines?
Oh, I see. I see what he's claiming. Okay.
Undoubtedly, we'll be seeing facilities like these connected to the quarantine camps.
Oh, what the fuck are you talking about? Compares public health measures to the Holocaust on the bingo card.
In the beginning. Of course, after a while, they just won't care anymore, and you'll start seeing the smokestacks coming from these quarantine facilities.
Why would they need smokestacks? You just said they're using this thing, which doesn't produce smoke. Think it through.
Saying it's for your protection. But obviously, if we're to the point where we're liquefying the dead and feeding it to the living and calling it
We're not
organic or environmental, you know these people on television have gone mental. That these people in the cities have gone mental, and it's just without a doubt.
These people in the cities, you know, the majority of the population.
Talking to these people is useless.
Fenigami says, sorry I'm late. One of my coworkers is into conspiracies. He thinks both Andrew Tate and Yee have, quote, good points. Weirdly, he's pro-socialized healthcare and UBI. That's a confusing person.
They don't want to hear the facts. They don't want to hear the truth. They're always going to spin it like liberals and call it for your protection. Call it your imagination. These crazies will call you crazy and say, this is perfectly fine. This is
no,
perfectly
you! Uno reverse card, motherfucker.
natural. This is science. Look at that. They got no problems putting the bones into a meat grinder.
Okay, and?
Putting it into a bag and saying, oh, we got some calcium phosphate. It's no longer human remains anymore. These are just chemicals.
Human bodies are in fact made of chemicals, yes.
And so they're going to end up in the food supply. They're going to end up as fertilizer.
Okay, that would be fine. At least my body would be doing something if you used me for fucking fertilizer. There are people who pay to do that. There are people who pay to be, like, planted with a tree so their body can be used for fertilizer.
And people are drinking this right now. And again, what kind of effect does this have when you drink something like this? When you drink wine, I mean, you get drunk, right? What happens when you're drinking this type of juice?
You guys want to get drunk off that dead body?
You hear about the cult members drinking the adrenochrome. What?
I'm so tired.
What about the average sheeple that's...
Sheeple! Sheeple on the bingo card! We got him.
Being fed this death juice.
And adrenochrome.
What does that do to them? Obviously turns them into zombies. Obviously these people are going to be vibrating at a different frequency.
That doesn't even mean anything. DJ Shea says water 35 liters, carbon 20 kilograms, ammonia 4 liters, lime 1.5 kilograms, phosphorus 800 grams, salts 250 grams, saltpeter 100 grams, sulfur 80 grams, fluorine 7.5, iron 5, silicon 3 grams, and trace amounts of 15 other elements. It's all the ingredients of the average adult human body, right down to the protein in your eyelashes, and even though science has given us a complete chemical breakdown, there's never been a successful attempt to bring a human to life. It reminds me of that scene from Breaking Bad where it's the flashback and Walter is, you know, with his ex-partner, Gretchen, talking about the chemical composition of the human body, and it's juxtaposed with him trying to clean up the corpse. Good stuff. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, watch Breaking Bad, and then watch Better Call Saul, which I still haven't finished, so no spoilers for Better Call Saul. Steve with a Q says, when you drink wine, you get drunk. When you drink dead people juice, you get drunk. Or they get drunk. Sorry, I ruined your joke. Sume with a link.
Hey kids, want to see a dead body?
Stop screaming!
Wow, it was a Sume link that was not only funny, it was also anime. Wow. Must need a jacket in hell right now.
at a very low frequency. But you just can't imagine.
Also watch El Camino. Here's the order you should watch them in. Breaking Bad, El Camino, Better Call Saul. Gnome Pickle says, gonna get you drunk, gonna get you drunk, gonna get you drunk off my dead body juice. JP Black says, think this might have someone breaking something here. Oh god, what is this?
Law, breaking the law. Breaking the 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 law, breaking.
For the record, I have tried to watch JoJo before. I watched the first episode of JoJo, and it was interesting. I just never ended up continuing.
Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law.
Funny.
Dumping this into the water supply.
I know it's water. I know what liquid death is.
But they do. You've heard of the expression from crap to tap. Pardon that expression, but that's what they're doing. They've been feeding people you know what.
No, they don't. That's literally what the water treatment plant is for. The water cycle is inevitable. It's literally just how the atmosphere works. This water is going to get put back into the system. That's why we treat it before it gets to your tap. You stupid cunt. Sume says, okay, so JoJo Season 1 is boring. Watch Season 2. Season 2 is much better. I have to start at Season 1 to know what's happening. No part skipping. Without part 1, part 3 is no wait. Yeah, no, I'd watch it in order if I was going to watch it. But I don't think I'll watch it.
Literally. Not
maybe the next subathon we did talk about doing an anime tier. So maybe the tier will be make Hannah watch JoJo.
Not just on the television, but literally, they're feeding people crap. And they've been doing this for years. And now they're feeding the city dwellers dead people. But it tastes, it tastes just like tap water. You ever wonder why your tap water comes out cloudy and then it dissipates, turns clear? That's all the chemicals.
No, it's not.
Doing their magic.
Oh, he's so fucking stupid.
Kind of like disappearing ink, in a sense. They can just add chemicals to water, to dark water, and make it look transparent. But that's besides the point. You don't even want to know what you're drinking out of the tap water. And of course,
whatever it is, I'm drinking it right now.
Of course, they're using all of the groundwater for fracking and other things.
I don't even have like a Brita filter or anything. This is straight from the fucking tap, son.
So people's wells are drying up. Your only choice is to drink the tap water for the most part. And most of the bottled water is just tap water out there. Most of the stuff that you find at the grocery store or the gas station, it's no better than this. It's probably even worse. And this is why we talk about it all the time. They're poisoning the water. Not just with fluoride, not just with...
Fluoride on the bingo card. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at the bingo card. Illuminati Freemasons. Incorrect word origin is evidence. Rounding error numerology. Public health measures compared to the Holocaust. I think that's it for that page. Oh, bingo? Who's got a bingo? You do, Element? Send me a link to your bingo card so I can take a look. Take a look at page 2 while you do that. Satanic. Let's see, Element. You had Illuminati, aliens, free space, believes they speak with aliens, someone doesn't understand how cameras work. You win, Element! You win. Okay, I shall write your name down. Let me know when you would like that sub gifted to either you or someone else. Let me pull up my document. Gift it? Will do. Easy. Don't even have to write your name down then. Gift a sub! It's gonna be random. Let's see who wins. Da 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 da. Wait. Oh, there we go. I gotta confirm. Birdie VK gets the gift sub. The Twitch gods have spoken. Okay, let's take a look at page 2 since we can still play for fun. Numerology used as evidence. The mark of the beast. Fluoride. Staggering level of hypocrisy. And sheeple. Beautiful. Check my phone. What am I checking my phone for? Did you send me something? I don't see anything yet. Oh, Baha, not me. Sorry. I always assume everything in chat is directed at me. If it doesn't say otherwise.
Michael Jackson, the biggest name in music of all time? I'll be honest with you guys, I'm pretty sure his soul was sold, but here's the catch. I don't think he was the one who did it. And here's what I mean by this. I'm sure most of you know his—
Michael Jackson was abused and then, unfortunately, continued the cycle of abuse and became an abuser himself. Sucks, but there were no demons involved. It's just shit. Forrest Espion says, I came late. Did I miss the cloud beings? Hannah, is it the guy who shouts out clouds that turns them into squares? You did miss it, and it was Gina. Mr. Whiskers says it's a blast conspiracy.
background, but let me give you just a quick rundown of his upbringing. I'm pretty sure his dad was a big part of this. So his dad started the Jackson 5 and he was managing them. His dad's the one that got them on the map by putting them in talent shows. He got them on tour. He was managing their tours, all of this kind of stuff, right? I don't know if you guys remember this, but
his dad's a goddamn monster.
Michael Jackson went on Oprah and he said his father would brutalize him and his siblings to make them work harder and longer. He also said his father gave him a really hard time, especially on his nose. He said he had a really fat nose, which is kind of messed up to say to a kid. So here's the reason I wanted to tell you that. I want to look at a couple lyrics with you. And the song we're going to be looking at is called Money. So it says, you call it trust, but I say it's just. And the devil's game of greed and lust. They don't care, they do me for the money. They don't care, they use me for the money. Now it goes on to say, you would do anything for money, anything for money, anything for money. Would lie for you, would die for you, even sell my soul to the devil. So it's clear that he sold his
It's a metaphor!
soul, but I'm not sure if he
It's
did.
clear that he sold his soul. No! It's a song. It's poetic. And again, the guy who wrote the song, assuming Michael Jackson wrote this song, it's a goddamn pedophile, so fuck him?
Did it personally, especially with his upbringing, the way his dad was treating him. To me, it seems like he was forced to be turned into some big prodigy. And then we see the evidence here, and now I'm going to show you some pictures of symbolism. Let's just get the elephant out the room. He's putting his hand on his eye on this one, and this is by far the most obvious picture out of all of them. Next, we have the cover of Blood on the Dance Floor, and immediately you can see the checkered
Black and white floor.
flooring, which is resemblance of the Masonic temple. And if that wasn't enough,
Masons on the bingo card.
you look at the bottom right, you see some pyramid-looking buildings. And just for reference real quick, this is the Masonic temple with a checkered floor.
Gina does not cloud dance, unfortunately. Though she did have a new dance video recently. I just didn't show it.
And then you see the triangle in the middle, which is the Freemason symbol. And the cover of Dangerous probably has the most symbolism out of all of them. To start it off, right in the middle, you can see a triangle shape. On the right side, you can see the eye above the two pillars, which looks exactly like the Masonic temple pillars. And the weirdest one of them all is right in the middle, there's a little kid covered by the skull of an animal. It's just really ironic to me that he has this on the front cover of his page, because we all know what he was accused of. And I'm not saying he did these things or he didn't do these
He did.
things, because
In my opinion, I think he did. I have a pretty strong opinion on that, honestly.
technically he wasn't found guilty for this, but it is facts that he did pay off.
The thing that annoys me about the Michael Jackson thing is, this wouldn't even be a discussion if it was literally anyone on planet Earth other than Michael Jackson. Y'all just still want to listen to fucking Thriller, and I'm not talking about people in chat specifically, you're probably fine, but I feel like as a society, people really didn't want to deal with, like, oh man, I love Thriller and other songs. He's, you know, one of the most prolific, if not the most prolific pop artist of all time. Wrote amazing songs and clearly had a great talent in dancing. They couldn't deal with the fact that he was most likely a pedophile who was abusing children. So instead they were like, well, I don't know, we don't know. No one in the exact same set of circumstances with the exact same facts, no one would even question it. Period. The only reason you're going, well, I don't know, is because you still want to listen to Michael Jackson music and feel fine about it. Which, whatever, that's your business. The guy's fucking dead. It doesn't even matter. It's not like he's getting the money anymore. Listen to Thriller if you want. I don't give a shit. But he was probably a pedophile.
These families to drop the charges, and we won't really dive too much into
It just
this.
annoys me because Razor Fist did like a 3-part multi-hour long like video series on why he thought Michael Jackson was innocent, and it just pissed me off. The leeway he was giving him was so ridiculous. Like, you would never give this amount of like benefit of the doubt to so many things in a row that all point towards abusing children unless it's someone you like a lot, like Michael Jackson. Pisses me off.
Because it's all really conspiracies from here on out. Something I do want to touch on, though, is his relationship with Diana
Unfortunately gave R. Kelly a second chance, yeah. People do this shit all the time with artists they like. It's disgusting.
Ross. If you're not familiar with this situation, Michael Jackson met
Ineffable Effort is the guy that likes your laugh? Oh.
Diana Ross when he was 9 years old. He wrote in his autobiography that she was his mother, sister, and lover all combined in one. She was 14 and a half years older than Michael Jackson. Supposedly they had no sexual relationship, and who am I to say they did or didn't, but you gotta realize this woman introduced him into the music industry. I'm not gonna lie, my mind's kind of going crazy here thinking of all the things that could have went down. I mean, this guy had a tough upbringing, 10 siblings in a 2-bedroom home. His dad was really
Ineffable Effort says, it's true, I do.
hard on him, and getting involved with the music industry at such a young age, getting involved with Diana Ross when he was just 9 years old. I mean, dang, things are starting to make a little more sense why this guy had such a controversial career. So as Michael Jackson's career went on and he was rising to the level of fame he achieved, which is probably one of the most famous people in the world, that came with a lot of power, and people didn't like seeing Michael Jackson with a lot of power. They tried to strip away Michael of all of this power, so let me tell you what went down. He got into a very big conflict with Sony Records because they wanted to buy his catalog, but he refused to sell it. And when you refuse an offer from a record label and you piss them off, you're pissing off very, very strong and powerful people. And years back, Michael...
You understand how rich Michael Jackson was, right? He also was incredibly powerful.
bought ATV Records for $47.5 million, which had the rights to a lot of music, including the Beatles, which is absolutely huge. So he was the owner of ATV, right? And before the conflict with Sony, he sold them half of this company for $95 million. They were on good terms at that point. So then they created Sony/ATV Music Publishing, which is huge right now. I mean, this is the company that owns Taylor Swift's music, I mean, Lady Gaga, all of these people. But you have to realize Michael Jackson was still a half owner of this company with all of this music, which is the Beatles and all the big music at the time, which means that he was still so powerful, and Sony hated this, especially the...
He was addicted to drugs. He was addicted to drugs and he overdosed. That's what happened.
CEO. His name was Tommy Mottola. Now this is when some real conspiracies start to happen. So this guy Tony, the CEO of Sony, was super powerful, and he was using all of his connections to try and ruin Michael Jackson's image. And people are saying that all of the allegations that you hear about Michael Jackson was never true, and it was the doing of the CEO of Sony. People also say
they also planted those books of naked children in his place. Sure. Jesus Christ.
That this man's career was ended because of this. You have to realize these record labels have so much power, and the CEOs of these companies had even more power. So this leaves so many questions in the air. There's even conspiracies that Michael Jackson is still alive, and we're gonna cover that in another video if you guys want. They're saying that he was silenced so hard that he faked his own death, and he's still alive somewhere because of all—
He's not. He died.
The things they were going to do to him and accuse him of. And well, if he fact is indeed dead, RIP Michael Jackson, then they're saying maybe they even had something to do with it. I'll be honest, I'm not really sure what to believe, but I'm going to do a lot more.
Skifazoa says, not so fun fact, he confessed to sleeping in the same bed as other children. This is what I am saying. If it was literally anyone else, there was not a thought in your mind that would ever be like, well, that can't be suspicious. Like, everyone would go, oh, a grown person sleeping in the bed with children that are not their children. That's incredibly sus, right? No one would not question that, except for the fact that it's Michael Jackson and people like his music, so they want to ignore it. It's gross. Eldronder with 100 bits says, now if I was getting fakely accused of that by Tommy Mottola, what I wouldn't do is have an interview with my naked child mannequins. What is this? Oh, Michael Jackson on the dating game? Oh god, I don't even think I want to watch that. That'll make me uncomfy.
More research on that fact, because there's got to be an answer somewhere, right? But the reason why he got to this point of his career was in fact because he sold his soul to the devil. I mean, how do you become the most popular name in the world, the king of all of music?
By being talented. He was talented. Unfortunately, he was also a piece of shit. It happens.
Music. I mean, there's got to be some other help there, right? I mean, there's got to be very strong people backing you. Talking about the Freemasons, the Illuminati, selling your soul to the devil. That stuff is real, guys. This is real life. I know I was kind of all over the place in this video, and I covered a lot of topics in a short amount of time. So let me know in the comments all of your thoughts on this, and let me know if I should make a conspiracy video, just uncovering all the conspiracies of his death. Is he still alive? All that stuff. I hope you guys—
People are idiots.
All right.
He literally explained how Michael got famous and still is like, must be the devil.
People.
Well, what else could it be?
We've got a treat for you today. You're not going to be ready for this one. It's going to be a big surprise. But, welcome to Mudflood City. Yeah? So, let me show you some buildings. I'll turn my camera around. Alright, so this is a typical mudflood building. Yeah? Look how big it is. Yeah? All that was one building at one time. Yeah? Windows.
What? It's one building now. What?
Ground level.
Yeah, buildings are sometimes built a little bit recessed in the ground. It's like a half basement. It's a half floor. We have those all over the place in Michigan.
Let me show you.
Like, literally, the house I am in right now is a partially submerged basement. Like, the top part still has a window on it because it's not completely under the ground. I grew up in a house with that as well. I assure you, it wasn't flooded. That's just how the house was built.
Windows again. Ground level. So this is what they would do, yeah? Underneath these steps is the original front door. Trust me.
Trust you? How about you prove it?
Underneath these steps is the original front door. Remember when I told you, every time you get steps going up, it's a mud flood building.
Nope.
I'm telling you. So, this is an area in Nottingham called Park Estate. It's one of the richer areas, but I call this Mudflood City. I'm telling you. So, yeah, I've got a treat for you. You're not gonna be ready. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh my days. What we talking? We're talking mudflood, bruv. Window at ground level.
Yep.
I know.
It's to get natural light in, because even though it's at ground level, you can still get light, even though you don't necessarily have a view.
Some of you are telling me that's a basement, but that's the original ground level, I'm telling you.
You're wrong. You're absolutely fucking wrong. Forrest Espion with 100 bits says, Conspiracy pretty think all celebrities are evil satanic. Hannah, do you think it's cause religious-leaning conspiracy people are just mad that their favorite pastor is into celebrity? I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it has to do with them viewing them as elites in some way. A lot of conspiracies depend upon having an elite or something to blame. Frost Embry, thanks for 10 months and kicking off a hype train. 51% to level 1 on the train.
Yeah. Seem to be doing a bit of scaffolding to this one. But yo, let me continue. So, I'm gonna take you to a place, yeah? And you're not gonna be ready. I'm telling you, you're not gonna be ready.
I think I'll probably be fine.
It's a little walk up. So as we go up this hill, yeah, like I say,
Mr.
you
Whiskers,
can find
thanks for gifting a sub, 82%.
these buildings in your city. Anytime you come across steep hills next to buildings, you're dealing with mudflood.
Every time? Wow. Lennon Cat knows what to do. Thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs, getting us over level 1 at the very least. Thank you.
I'm telling you.
I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm bad at estimating how much it'll go. Did that also complete level 2? Astral Storm, thanks for gifting 3 tier 1 subs.
Look at that. Come on, brother.
Oh, the way this guy talks is so annoying. Come on, brother! Nemesis Kolboth, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs.
I don't think you guys are getting it. I don't think you're getting it, bruv. Oh my days. Look at that, man. It's a hazard. It's a hazard, bro.
There's a fence there. How is it a hazard? What do you mean it's a hazard? There's a literal fence.
It's a
84% to level 5.
Hazard. So as I say, what they do is they'll have a window, and they've converted this window into a door.
But why does this look completely different? This doesn't look like it was a window at any point. It just looks like a door. Bittergrin, thanks for 100 bits.
They took all that brick wall out, made it bigger, but trust me, the original front door is below them steps.
Prove it.
Guaranteed.
You can't just say it. Fucking prove it. Love Angel 1337, thanks for 3 months, says don't mind me, I'm just traveling. That gets us over level 5. Thank you very much. Ineffable Effort with 100 bits says this is the Where Are They Now of Mickey Smith. No, he became badass and he's with Martha. That's canon, okay?
Guaranteed. But this ain't the surprise. This is just the...
I kind of hope Mickey and Martha and them show up in the new, like, Doctor Who stuff since Russell T Davies is back.
Lead up. Wait till I show you what's in Park Estate. Big up everybody from Nottingham, because you already know what I'm about to show them. But they're not going to be ready. You know when you think you're ready, and you're not? All right. So let me keep going up this hill now. I mean, this is like...
Gnome Pickle says, sir, how do you explain that I can find people who built these buildings and can show me original blueprints? Conspiracy. Obviously, they fabricated those documents. And paid off the witnesses. Alleged witnesses. Bittergrin says, the Mickey actor is not a good person.
City, bruv.
I didn't know that. That's a shame.
Oh, my days. Oh, my days. All of these buildings are mud floods. All of them. I know you've seen buildings like this in your own city,
It's almost like it's an incredibly common way of building buildings and not a conspiracy.
I know you have. But you just didn't know what you was looking at. You just didn't know.
Like, when I was growing up, I had a friend named Kevin. Kevin, never mind, with what I was gonna say. Anyway, Kevin had a very new house, like a very new house, and it was a nicer house than the house I lived in. It had a half basement that was finished, right? So it was a building that I knew was new. I'm probably older than that building, but we went there and we like, that was his house. Like, buildings have basements, sir.
So I'm gonna show you. Trust me, it's always in the posh areas. Secret gems. Shout out to JJ. My Don. My Don. So yeah, it's a little walk up the hill, but we're gonna get there. All my days. Shout out to everybody in the live. I almost slipped. It's a strange building. Trust me.
Doesn't understand the architecture on the bingo card.
All of these buildings, bro. Shaky. Shaky. Big up the gifters. But yeah, I'm about to show you something that's gonna blow your...
Oh shit, Nemesis. Wait, no, that was higher up, right? Nemesis already gifted subs. That's not another 10, is it? Then, no. Right? That's weird. It popped up. Did Nemesis gift 10 more? I can't tell if that's because, like, the thing didn't go up. I'm gonna assume in case. Nemesis, thanks for gifting another 10 tier 1 subs. And Fenekagami says, my aunt's house was built for her. I visited as it was being built as a child. I think did the hype train break? I think it stopped going up. I think you guys broke it.
Mine.
Thank you for breaking the hype train.
You ready?
On the other, or no, on the Ryland says, I'll be back another 3 years. Good, after another 3 years. Good night. Have a good night.
All right. There it goes. It's tiring walking up these hills, you know. Tiring. But I want you to look at the scenery, yeah? So look where we are, yeah? Are we on ground level? Are we on ground level? I don't think so. Oh my days.
Oh, it's a glitch. You only gifted the first batch? Okay, weird. Make sure you keep an eye on it to make sure it didn't charge you twice or something.
I mean, look how...
Thanks for the level 5 hype, everyone. Appreciate it.
High up we are. Look how high up we are. So, they're calling this... Oh, the sign's down there. So always look out for these type of brick walls. You see them all the time. All right, let's go down. I don't think you guys know how steep this is. Oh my days. Let's go to the caves. Somebody lost some clothes there. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, this is in Nottingham, people, in a place called Park Estate or Canning Circus.
Okay. Like, that's cool, but like also it's not proof of the thing you're saying.
So they originally said that this was built to be a train station or railway tracks. But it just doesn't add up to me.
Why?
It was built for coaching horses.
refused to go all the way around. He wanted a direct route into town.
That's funny. There was someone right there to correct him.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Random helpful lady. Thanks.
Hear that there, people? It was built by who again? Duke of Northumberland. So it was built by the Duke of Northumberland, and apparently he wanted a direct route, so he built this for his horse and carriages. But it's a bit much, don't you think?
Wait a minute, are you telling me that someone from the monarchy did something expensive and wasteful for their own whatever bullshit thing, and then it was a bit much? Crazy. Gnome Pickle says, honey, there seems to be a man with a phone screaming about flooding outside the house. Call the old Bill, will you?
It's a bit...
Is old Bill UK slang for cop?
Much. Let me show you what I mean. So, if you look at the brickwork, yeah, look at the brickwork.
I don't think that's brickwork. It looks like they carved a tunnel.
I mean,
that's a tunnel. That's not brickwork. Bricks are bricks. This is a tunnel.
What would they have to do to have removed all of the brick? Dynamite?
Is he conflating brick with stone?
Right? Hammer and chisel. Don't give me no hammers and chisels, bruv.
That's how people have historically made tunnels, yes.
I'm gonna go down there in a minute and show you what's on the other side. But, yeah.
It's always funny to me when the conspiracy theory literally comes down to, holy shit, that's a lot of work. Like, yeah, historically humans have done a lot of work. Not all of it consensually.
Yeah, I believe this was all underwater at some point.
I mean, it may have been flooded at some point. I don't know how low this place is relative to the surrounding area, but that doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's not a mud flood.
The erosion. So, all of this has been eroded away, and then the...
You understand that erosion works... Like, you don't need water for erosion. Things can be eroded by, like, wind and stuff because there are particulates and stuff, like, in the air that naturally will rub away at things over time. It just takes a long time because, you know, it's less frictiony than water.
Started brickwork. Yeah, so let me keep going up here. Show you exactly what I mean by underwater. I don't know if you can see this clearly, but all of this is molded like it was wet.
So in a tunnel, or a cave, or anything like that, because of the way moisture works, it'll collect, and you'll have sort of dank or moist walls, which will promote the growth of, like, fungus or mold or whatever kind of rot. It doesn't have to have been flooded, but if it's a moist environment, this will happen. I don't know if anyone's ever had a basement that gets, like, humid or moist. You have to get a dehumidifier to make sure you don't get mold everywhere. It doesn't mean your basement is flooded. It just means your basement is moist.
Now, how could it be wet?
How can it be wet?
Like I said, this is like a...
Condensation? How does that work?
200-foot drop. I don't think you guys are understanding the levels. I mean, look. Levels to this. Yeah, play some music. I bet it has some energy frequency levels. Because they're saying it's for horse and carriage, but how big were the horses? Giants?
If there are 2 lanes of traffic, then the horse and carriages would be going opposite directions. It's like a 2-lane road.
Giants?
Like, does he know how big a fucking carriage is? Or, like, if you had a carriage, he says this is for a king, so it might even be a carriage where there's, like, 2 horses side by side?
I'm telling you.
Like, does he know how big horses are? I'm afraid of horses because of how big they are. Horses are scary.
Is it lagging? Let me know.
Don't invite me anywhere with horses.
Oh, are we lagging? Okay. So yeah, it's a long cave. And I'm going to be showing you all type of tunnels all through Nottingham. There's loads of different tunnels. There's loads of different areas.
Ineffable Effort says, I'm afraid of any animal I can't beat in hand-to-hand combat. That's probably fair.
But yeah, you come out of...
What about kangaroos? Because you should be afraid of kangaroos, but that's more like hand-to-foot combat.
Here. Like I said, I mean... To hammer and chisel this away? Ooh, what's that?
You your claim is literally, this looks hard. Yeah, it was their job. Jobs are hard. That's why they pay you for them. Cloud Wizard says, even the little tiny ones, they're so adorable. Like a pony's fine, but again, like a full-size horse, an adult horse. And I don't come in here and be like, did you know ponies aren't actually baby horses? I am aware. A baby horse or a pony's probably fine. Adult horses are scary.
Oh, we found a secret.
None of you will know the dread of being on the internet and saying something that you know is technically inaccurate because you have about 0.3 seconds before everyone in the audience who knows that you're technically wrong says it. Oh, did you know that the thing you just said is wrong? Yes, I make mistakes. I apologize. Please give me a second to correct myself before you jump on me.
Secret chamber. I'd love to climb up there. Crazy. So yeah, let me just show you what's at the end. Is it still lagging? Let me know. Let me know if it's still lagging, people.
I'm just gonna start doing IRL streams and annoying everyone around me.
Shout out to the gifters. So yeah, you come out of here and it's just a posh estate, but with a lot of mud flood buildings. I'm not gonna go all the way out that way because that's gonna be for a different video. I think I need to climb. How's my climbing skills, people? Oh, my commentary is lagging. All right, I'm going to start the live again. I'm going to come out and then I'm going to come back in, yeah?
Okay, enough of him. I already watched that.
Hello, I'm Calicia Day, and this is number 4 on the subject of a breach of trust. Not to follow a lie, but try to find the truth. And now I'm talking about President Trump as sharing the truth with us. The lies that have been protected on the internet have been paid for, and it is time to see the pirates that are now taking our lives on this plague of fear that has masks on our face and has made us take a shot. And this is a way into our soul to take it to hell, away from God. So if you worship the God of Abraham, you want to have an everlasting life beyond this one, you need now to put a stop to what you accept within your body, because that the Holy Spirit resides there. If you have a relationship with God and you try to follow the 10 commandments of God, your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. And when you take within your body substances that you don't even know what it is, now that they can mess with DNA, you don't know what
you dumb bitch
you can become once they put it in your body.
Hopefully a Ninja Turtle.
That is the mark of the beast.
Mark of the
Was
beast.
to change your DNA.
Nothing in vaccines changes your DNA.
Your DNA is 72,000 from the mother and 72,000 from the father. That's an ordained number of 144,000 genes that make you who you are. And when Satan, the snake, puts in another 72,000, you become something different. Not ordained under God to be a human here on earth, but to be an...
I'm gonna be honest, being a human on Earth kind of sucks dick, and like not in a fun way. So like I'm open to suggestions. If Satan has a third option, like I'll check it out.
Animal, the same as the beast himself, and if you receive that into your body, then you've accepted the mark of the beast. I hear.
When you get more DNA, you reach your final form. I'd like to think I'd become the Giga Bowser version of myself, for anyone familiar with the Smash Brothers series.
That Trump is trying to stop these satanic people from reigning over our world.
If Satan adds another 7,200, you become Sabrina Spellman. I mean, that'd be cool. She had good powers. So, like, Bittergrin says, so God has no more power over me? Score.
And stop the plague that is happening, that is killing millions of people. We have a war going on that many of us don't even believe is happening. But it's been planned for 20-some years. And it is...
You don't want to watch Giga Hannah. I'm pretty sure Giga Hannah rules with an iron fist and demands cheese at a constant rate, and if she is unsatisfied, she will destroy you all!
Definitely a division between good and evil now, here on Earth, and you have to choose what side you were on. Now, Jesus talked about his return when he was being asked, well, how are we going to know when you're coming back? God only knows when he can come back to be truthful. I'm sharing the truth, but I could volunteer. And that's what I did in covenant with God. I said, God, I'd be the Queen of the South if you wanted me to be.
She's the Queen of the South.
And in a dream, I was taken by a bunch of demons to hell. And
everything south of the Mason-Dixon line. It's her territory.
They accused me of all these bad things that I did. I was guilty. I could have gone to hell for the things that I did. But you know, I stood there and I said, I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. He saves me from my sin. And what I did doesn't count because he is my Lord and Savior and King. That's what I said. And
you know what her voice reminds me of? Does anyone sing Singing in the Rain? Can't stand them!
And hell, and the blood of Jesus on my robe showed. And then whenever the robe was parted, I was shining. I was surrounded by...
Hold on. I can't stand him. I can't stand him.
Now, ta te ti to tu. Now let me hear you read your line.
And I can't stand him.
And I can't stand him.
And I can't stand him.
Can't.
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 Shining angels all around me. You know, the 6-winged ones? And Jesus came from above down, and he collected me out of there. That's what he went to hell to do, is to get the keys, so he could determine who was going to hell.
Why did Satan have those keys? Did God misplace them? Sume says, nope, not reading that.
And in this dream, I was in a place that was so bright, I wouldn't dare even try to open my eyes.
I'm gonna bring back the timeout Sume command.
But Jesus asked if he
and there will be no cooldown.
could make
Theoretically, people will be able to ban him permanently.
Me the Queen of the South. He said yes, in acting form, an allegory. I could play the part. Now, if it is time for the tribulation period of time to come, for Jesus to return, I could very well become the Queen of the South. Or he could make me an actress. I'm acting.
Lily Lovestuff says Jesus took the wheel and drove to Satan's. That's how he got the keys. Sume says, I accept this if it costs a $10 donation. That would actually be hilarious. People paying me money to time out Sume. What a good marketing campaign.
To be like Jonah, to tell you that it's time to get to know Jesus.
I'm not going to do that.
And ask him to save your soul, to bring you back to God, get to know him, and obey what the Holy Spirit tells you to do. Because that if you shut your ears and you don't listen, you don't have a relationship with God, and he's not going to know you on the judgment day.
There's no version of anything where you would get 50%, Sume.
I told God, how can you make me the Queen of the South? I'm not smart. I was an Australian student. I'm not wise. Only you are wise. I don't want to be called wise.
I don't think you have to worry.
Well, God said that was wise. Because that I knew that I wasn't wise. We all come together and...
The only wisdom comes in knowing that you know nothing. Socrates.
We need each other, and everything I don't know yet you know, then I need to know. And everything that I know that you don't know, that you need to know. We get stronger together as fellowship under God, unity, and we can conquer all things when we move together. We need each other. No matter what religion we come from, we have to work together. The devil wants you looking for the false prophets. He wants you to claim that everybody else is of the devil and you're the only one going to heaven. That's what the rabbis thought when they crucified Jesus. I ask you not to be like them. That you love your neighbor same as yourself. And you start leading souls into the kingdom of God because they are going to hell. And if you know God and you know Jesus, you are responsible to try to lead them into the kingdom of God. There are so many amazing things that we can do, teaching and leading and building. As we did in the past, you know, we were to be amazing here on earth. Like Israel. Had too many laws, though. We have made too many laws now to follow. Our lawyers for profit can get anybody involved in a lawsuit and tie you up in trouble that you can't get out of. Our Bill of Rights were to protect us against these evil people who would tie us up in court, put us in jail, and it not be for justice, but to get us out of the way of whatever they wanted here on earth. We have a problem now because we've allowed so many laws to be put in place. Who can even obey them? And when there's people that have a life of making a profit off of it, then what? This is what's happened with our medical care. We spent a quarter of our income to make a medical way to save ourselves in trouble in this body instead of counting faith on God.
Historically, that hasn't worked out very well. Just hoping God cures you of things.
And putting it up to God. And now they say that they're going to save us and they use us instead. You can't expect that they're going to do what they say whenever you go to the hospital. You may not be coming home. When they put you to sleep, if no one's watching, how do you know what was done?
Oh boy, this is a level of paranoia. Ineffable effort with 100-bit says we have so many laws in place that who can even obey them? God's MO is literally making it impossible to obey his rules, then punishing us for it. Bittergrin says, also, we only spend that much of our income because of capitalism.
We can't count on those that are now in power that get our money for our health care. The Holy Spirit within our body matters, and we have to be careful what we put in our body.
It has. Make sure any Holy Spirit you put in your body has a flared base.
We have to have new forms of help now to get out of the systems that were put in place to put the devil in power, or our children are going to be at risk. That's why we have to unite. Our system here is no longer just. Justice can be violated. But Jesus is justice. He is our Prince of Peace. And he needs to reign on earth. Until then, I ask you to trust who says that they want to serve God. And they want to help those that serve God. And those that are of the devil, they have to be on the other side. You have to let them go where they want to go. But those that are of God need to unite now for us to save our nation. Let's build better. Under Jesus, let us save America and stop the lies and the laundering of money and the throwing away of trillions of dollars.
The top of God's list of sins is money laundering now, I guess.
That is paying for sin that we don't even know about. I ask you now to invite new people out to become a new set of reporters that will tell us the truth, that we won't be bought by lies. I ask you in the name of Jesus to do this. Thank you for listening.
Well, that was interesting. Let's see who we're gonna raid. Thanks everyone for showing up for Tinfoil Tuesday. Good to see you guys. Oh, Peter's Church is streaming.
5 years later, in 1953, he published Sexual Behavior in the Human Female. It was 842 pages.
So tomorrow I am going to take the day off. I need a day off very badly, so tomorrow I'm going to take a day off, but I'll be back Thursday earlier, because I'll probably have D&D later in the day, but I'll stream earlier on Thursday. Oh, Raid Shark, I guess. Alright, have a good night, everyone. And I'll see you Thursday. Or whenever you can make another stream. Good seeing you guys, as per usual. Love you, Mr. Blast. And, have a good couple days. See you later.